Testing, one, two, three. Testing, one, two, three. Am I coming in clear? Testing, one, two. Testing, one, two. Yes, so I am heard. Very good. Last week, I told you all that the world was a big old ghetto, right? Yep, big old ghetto with a big old nuclear ghetto war on the horizon, potentially. Keep our faith. That said, not to belabor a point, because last week I told you all about how Russia, people in Russia, because of the drop of the ruble, were selling McDonald's out of their refrigerators for $36 to $40 a pop, right? Well, check this out. We all remember Coming to America, right? You remember McDowell's, right? Yeah, so McDowell's was a knockoff by John Amos's character, the future father-in-law of Hakeem, to McDonald's. Well, what if I told you that Russia, because they were so pissed at McDonald's for leaving their 800 stores, abandoning their 800 stores in Russia, this is the logo you see of a new state-sponsored McDonald's substitute to tell their people, don't worry, you won't miss a thing. Russia, big ass ghetto, y'all. But you know, it's not as ghetto as this. You're looking at Maury Povich, about 25 years younger, 20 to 25 years younger than he is currently. Now, the thing about Maury, of course, is a whole generation that was raised off of his "you are or are not the father" shenanigans, right? I mean, even I was involved with something that was a spoof on that matter. A commercial called Home Paternity Test. Well, Maury, if you think about it, he's called it quits. And Maury has been on so long that now people whose parents challenged paternities of fatherhood have now birthed people who can be parents, who can now have their fatherhoods and paternities challenged. I find that kind of amusing. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know what to say except I thought that was funny that Maury Povich is hanging it up after birthing a generation of people who've been trying to figure out who their daddy is. And with that, let's start the show. My music cut off on me. It's a Shawn show. It's a Shawn show, and today we're starring Tisia Saffold from Ready to Love and Bitch You Smell Good, and Toya Carmichael, Spades maven. And tonight, Shawn Says, rooting interest. We also have Ira explaining the ish. And of course, my wingman, Tyrone. Now, before we begin, let's just go into what we got for today. We got this lady coming up, Tisia Saffold, my Ready to Love not co-host, but my Ready to Love castmate. She will be joining us. Sure, we'll talk a little bit of Ready to Love, but we're really interested in talking about this new, fantastically hilarious, but crazy insightful endeavor called Bitch You Smell Good. And that's ampersand, bitch, you smell good. Right? So that's kind of cool. So we're going to get in with Tisia. And of course, we're going to be joined in the bottom hour by Toya Carmichael, DC community activist, also a lawyer, by the way. And she is going to talk to us about Spades. And she just swears she's a Spades diva. And so we're going to get her to talk about all the stuff that she got going on because she has a new Spades tournament coming up. But first, just one moment. Small technical difficulty while I find something here. Just one moment. Thank you all for your patience tonight. This is our penultimate episode. Next week, well, you know what penultimate means. Next week, I hope you know what penultimate means. Next week, we will have our last episode, and then we'll go on like a 2-week break. Tyrone and I have been cranking these things out, and it's been really fun. And we're just going to take a quick 2-week break and just recalibrate ourselves. But just one moment. Okay, but before we do that, hi, it's the melanin for you. I dig that. I appreciate that. Before we do that, I'm going to bring up my man, Ira Davis, because we are behind schedule. I'm going to get Ira in here, and then we're going to talk to our wonderful sponsor from Body Butter Bakery. But let's get Ira here to get the show going. Because my man, Ira Davis, Dr. Ira Antonio Davis, will be brought on here. There he is.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Dr. Davis. You know, so last week we did something that was all the rage. All the kids loved it. And it rated highly in Alaska and in Pulaski County, Georgia. And it's called a segment that we called Ira Explains the Ish. So this is where we take current events and things that people may not come on IG to talk about. And you have 120 seconds to explain the ish. Brother, Dr. Davis, are you ready to explain this ish?
I am ready.
Well, first, before you explain this ish, can you tell us what this ish you about to explain this evening?
This ish that I'm about to explain is about Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Okay. In 120 seconds, Dr. Ira Davis will explain the ish with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. In 3, 2, go.
All right, late last month, President Joe Biden nominated federal judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to fill an upcoming vacancy on the high court. What's taking place this week, Judge Jackson's hearing for the Senate Judiciary Committee. The committee will then hold a vote about whether the Senate should confirm or reject the president's nominee. It also can decide to issue no recommendation at all. After that, it's up to a simple majority of 1 out of 100 senators to determine whether the nominee is lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. Democrats currently control the U.S. Senate. U.S. Supreme Court appointments are extremely important to a political party. Democrats generally want to appoint liberal justices, while Republicans generally want to appoint conservative justices. Because that has previously worked as something that none of the other current Supreme Court Justice Democrats hope to hold a vote on her nomination before April 11th. Congress goes on. If confirmed, Jackson will be the first black woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court, and that is the issue.
Oh, man, you got that joker in there with about 20 minutes to spare, man. Oh, I can't believe you did it again this week. Whew. So you explained the issue with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Dr. Davis, you can explain anything. Answer me this though. Dr. Davis, can you explain why white people don't wear lotion?
No.
I'm disappointed in you, man. I thought you could explain everything. Oh, well. Thank you very much, brother. Talk to you next time.
All right, thank you, bro.
Good night. Kind of disappointed that you can't explain why white people don't wear lotion. But you know what? Speaking of lotion, I tell you who can explain anything and all things lotion related. Is she there? Is she there? There she is.
Good evening.
Wait a minute. Were people supposed to actually be listening to Ira? I thought you explained the ish just greatly.
Oh, okay. Don't start.
Hey, Kym.
It's too early. Hello. You look
It's
nice.
Thank you. You know, my castmate, Tisia Saffold, is coming on the show. And, you know, she's sort of in your line of work. She's unexpectedly in your line of work. She's used her newfound celebrity to launch something called Bitch, You Smell Good.
I like the name.
The name is tight.
It's
the only time anybody will get away with calling her bitch. And we're gonna use it a couple of times. So I want you to, at home, everybody play at home, how many times Shawn is gonna use Bitch, You Smell Good in the show.
Don't take a shot though.
I'm not taking a shot. I'm not gonna take a shot. I'm not taking a shot.
All right.
You know. Well, I had a whole show to do that, right?
Yeah.
Kym, you are the sponsor, Body Butter Bakery, bodybutterbakery.com. And you said that you're out of the body butter business as of last week. Did you
Until October.
Until October.
Yes.
Until it's ashy season again.
Right.
So when the ash starts pouring in, you will when the ash starts pouring in, you'll get back to making body butter. But what are you doing in your spare time?
Mostly oils. I already have oils right now. They're mostly fruity and feminine scents, but this Friday I'll be adding the masculine scents: debonair, agua, and a peppermint.
Ooh, masculine scents.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. You said last week you had quite a few masculine orders since your sponsorship of this very masculine Shawn show.
Yeah. The guys have been taking their ladies' products. So they're saying, you know, they want something that will allow them to keep their own products. So yes, I had to introduce something for the guys.
Fella, if you're walking around smelling like strawberry shortcake, you got a problem.
They don't care. As long as they are moisturized, they do not care.
Well, Kym, what type of products do you have going on at the Body Butter Bakery that we can look forward to when we go on your site to purchase these things?
Body oils and vegan lip balms. There's no beeswax.
Body oils and vegan lip balms.
Yep.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you like, may he rest in peace, remember the founder, Dave, of Wendy's? Remember Dave? You don't remember Dave Thomas?
I do.
The founder of Wendy's? May he rest in peace. He died of a heart attack. Are you like in your Body Butter Bakery just making up stuff? Well, Dave used to make up sandwiches. Wendy's would have a new sandwich every week. And I think he used to eat all of them, and that's why he died early of a heart attack. So are you just in your Body Butter Bakery and you just making up like, let me get some wax in here, let me get some stuff, and I'm gonna, they love this, and you just coating your lips.
I test the formulas on myself, and I test the scents with others because so what smells like something to me may not smell the same as somebody else. So I do get opinions on the scents.
All right. So are these listed prominently on your website at bodybutterbakery.com?
They will be Friday.
They will be Friday.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Any body scrubs? I see a question for.
I will have body scrubs. I don't have a date yet because I have to finish getting my orders from a week and 2 days ago out. I just physically have nowhere to put scrubs right now. So this is the body butter area. And every day it fills up and goes away. It fills up, goes away. So I don't have anywhere to put body scrubs right now.
All right. Well, I'm flying in my my co-pilot that's been joining me since we started this in February, this ignorance that's now very refined, this very refined Shawn show.
Okay.
Tyrone should be popping in any moment, so he would love to say hi to you, Kym, I'm sure, whenever he does fly in.
I want to see what his face is doing right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he's growing a beard.
Yeah. I want to see if it's giving it. He's mentioned that it gets scratchy once it's grown in, so I want to see if he let it get the best of him.
Yeah, he was doing that because of your body butter.
Yeah. Hi, Jelly Beans. That's one of my faves.
For real, y'all couldn't hear Ira over my beatboxing?
I mean, we heard him, but it was a little tough.
You know, you gotta put some music to explain in the ish.
Okay.
Tyrone, accept the exception. Hello, everybody. Are they still on hold with the butter? So all your butters are gone. Is that right, Kym?
They're spoken for, yes.
They're spoken for.
Yes. Like I have a certain number of, orders to fulfill. So if I don't have it, I got to make them. But I only have enough. Hi, Ty. Okay.
Hey.
Are you
Okay.
past the itchy, scratchy stage yet?
Bakery, bitches.
Oh, my God.
There's going to be a lot of bitches in here tonight.
Right.
No, but I've been using this, the coconut for like 2 weeks now, ever since I started.
Ty, you're going to make people jealous because everybody else can't get that body butter bakery.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. They had a chance. I tried.
About to start some trouble. See this right here? Trash.
Oh!
Really?
Body butter bakery.
I like it.
Did you just go to advertising school, Ty? Where'd you come up?
Hey.
Right here? Trash. I like body butter bakery.
Body butter bakery. Bitches.
That's the tagline. Body butter bakery. ...
Yep. I just got out the shower too. Bam. That's how I do it.
All right.
Well, she's out of body butter, man. So we gotta start promoting these lip balms and non-beeswax products that she got going on.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Question, Kym, which one did you say was the edible one again?
It's unavailable.
Just want to make sure.
And you still have some.
Which one was it though? The shade?
Pina colada bay butter.
The bay butter, okay. Just
no comment.
All
right. Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Just asking.
Okay.
He's the friend.
No, I'm out of it. I am out of it.
Ain't he the friend? Ty, ain't you the friend?
I mean, I was just asking. I had some dudes inquiring about it,
So
that's all.
Our first guest is.
How you doing, Kym?
I'm doing all right.
Our first guest is our great friend, Tisia Saffold. Ty knows her, of course, because he was on the show. We were on the show together. And Kym, maybe you could relate. Tisia's in this whole new enterprise with Bitch You Smell Good. And she's making these funny ass videos and it's taking off like crazy. And I just want to find out how she became an expert on scents and power and perspective, all that stuff. Because I actually do watch the videos. But you were a cosmetologist. And I say were because in October, was it? You said in the fall of this year, you just started making body butter for some friends. You started to sell it. Mm-hmm. And now you're sponsoring this national IG show. Yeah. And reaching the millions of out there watching us.
Millions and billions. Gotta claim it. I was already making it, so I started, sharing with friends and asking them what they think about it, and then I posted it on the site, and then it slowly started to grow. So now it's my full-time job. I am still a cosmetologist on paper, just in case life happens and I have to go back to it. Knock on wood, but I just don't practice anymore.
Are you a master cosmetologist, Kym?
And barber, yes.
Master and barber.
Mm-hmm.
Do you cut your own hair?
Sometimes. I haven't in a while because I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, but sometimes.
All right. when women got to come up with something to do every 2 weeks to their hair.
Not every 2 weeks. You know, we get bored with ourselves just like y'all get bored with looking at us.
Wow. She said we get bored. She said we get bored looking at them.
Facts.
Tisia, where you at? We about to bring in Tisia. we about to bring in Tisia. But that's Kym. She is our lovely sponsor. She's been our sponsor along for the ride. And Ty, she said, I will be with you as long as you will have me. That's what she said.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's not what I was hearing last week. No, I'm just I'm just playing, Kym.
He's the worst, ain't he? Well, okay. All right. We're gonna let you go here, and we're gonna bring in. There she is. Before Kym says bye, you want to say hey to her, Tisia?
Hi, Tisia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Everybody's so dressed up. I want to look like I'm going somewhere too.
You do look like you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
Now that's different. Y'all going like to the after.
You look so pretty. But I definitely want to. I'll DM you about some of your products.
Okay.
Like you got Ty over here growing a beard.
Right.
To see it was only a small suggestion too. Oh, there's beard butter, and here's what Ty does on the show. He got his laptop, tap. Bought that. And then the next week, he show up with more product than Kym gave me, and Kym gave me a lot of product.
Kym, you mentioned some oils. Did you say oils?
Yep, I have rejuvenating body oils made with mostly jojoba oil.
Okay, well, I use a lot of oil-based products under my scent, so I'll definitely DM you. I'll have to feature some of your oils to
we got to work
layer and how to keep my scents lasting long.
Okay, all right.
This is already a very enticing company. Bitches smell good, and
y'all gonna get over the name of this thing, okay?
We are not gonna get over the name of it because I think that's why people turn and like, what's this bitch talking about? She smells good. You know what? That does smell good, bitch.
Yeah, they like that it gives them a pass to use it. That's all.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out what is this giving. Like, Shawn.
How'd you see
it? I'd be excited. The first time I heard, I was excited as hell. Did you smell good?
See?
He really was. He didn't just like the post that I put out promoting this. He loved the post. And also, it's great to see Tisia.
And we get to see Tisia.
We get to see Tisia.
I miss that. I need to go out.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Kym, we'll talk to you later. If you want to join us at Overtime later, please do so.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Kym. That's Kym Dudley, the founder and owner of Body Butter Bakery. She has put body butter on hold until the fall. So you can't get any more of this good stuff that Ty bought most of that prevents you from getting it. But she has oils coming in about a week or so, and she has lip balms, and she still has a couple of Bay products, and that's the edible products. And Ty seems to take an interest in that.
I cannot believe this beard. I'm impressed.
I mean, I do what I could do. I try to show support.
So how long you think you got? How long do you have, Ty, for the beard to be fully accessible?
This is it. I think this is it.
I think you got more to go.
Hey, you know what? We'll see. 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, should be, filling out nicely.
Okay. Now, Tisia, are you a beard? You're a beard person, or are you like? I know some women who are beardaholics. Before we get into everything else.
And I said this on camera. You ain't got no facial hair. You ain't got nothing to say to me, baby. Keep moving.
Wow.
And that is the truth. I do men without facial hair. You got a little this. I'll try, but I am beard obsessed. I've been beard obsessed since undergrad. Okay, so I'm not new to this. I'm true to this.
She's Tisia Saffold.
Hey, and she has spoken.
She has spoken. Entrepreneur, tech queen, and now a perfume. What would you call it? Sommelier, if you will, with the olfactory. She's an olfactory genius. Tisia, how do we say your middle name? Zari?
Sierra Beret.
Sierra what?
Sierra. It's literally just like the singer Sierra. My mom got a little creator.
She did.
But it's just Sierra, like the singer Sierra Beret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tisia, Sierra Beret Saffold. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Shawn Show, Tisia.
Thank you. With my government name.
I know, the whole government.
Well, you want people to write the checks to the right person. Tisia is wonderful, talented, and of course, she's our castmate from Ready to Love. And we'll get into some Ready to Love stuff, but I really wanted to talk to her about this burgeoning enterprise, these fantastic videos that she has. I see them on TikTok and on IG.
I am trying, y'all.
And the thing is, bitch, you smell good.
Mm-hmm.
That's her name. So I feel like a bell should ring every time we say that. Bitch, you smell good.
Oh, I'll take a drink.
Ty, you ain't gonna last long. You're gonna keep drinking. But yes, so it's called Bitch You Smell Good. And you started this because you have an affinity for great scents. And you seem to have broken this down in a number of ways. Talk to us about this passion. When did you start it? And what made you say, you know what, I'm on to something here?
So just to start, I like to say that I'm a practical fragrance enthusiast. So that just means that I'm not a collector of fragrances, and all of my fragrances are in rotation. When you really get deep into the fragrance world, sometimes you'll just buy a fragrance simply because the bottle is gorgeous. You know, they get really creative. These fashion houses and fragrance houses, they get really creative with bottles and things of that nature. And so, you know, sometimes people just collect them just to say that I have this scent. But I am also in my private life a minimalist. So I do not like a lot of clutter, and I just like open space per se. So I'm not just collecting fragrances just because. And so many people write me like, oh my God, this is my favorite one. Have you smelled this one? I have not smelled all fragrances. There are so many fragrances in the world, and I have not smelled them all. And so I like to say that I'm a practical fragrance enthusiast, meaning that I buy what I love. I test before I buy. I'm not a hoarder or collector of fragrances, but I will put my fragrance collection against anybody's.
Okay, so with that said, your fragrance collection, is it as bad as some women's shoe fetish? Would you say you have more shoes or more fragrances right now? Is it close?
Probably. Ooh, that they may be neck and neck. Cause you know when you have boots, you have shoes, booties, sandals, heels. I mean, you have seasons, so it probably is neck and neck. I actually do love shoes just as much as I love fragrances. So.
How many fragrances would you take with you when you travel?
Ooh,
A
good question.
minimum of 5 fragrances. But you know, the good thing is that I have like travel ones. I have little mini bottles of some. And so years ago, I would like bubble wrap some of my fragrances. And I'm just like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I have travel little vials of some of them. And I have smaller versions of. So the ones that I really love, I have in travel version.
Okay.
Wow. We're here with Tisia Saffold. I got that right.
Again.
Yeah, because she has the Roman numerals and the V in her IG, but that's her personal IG. That's where she's beaming in from now. But please follow her at Bitch You Smell Good. And first of all, the name, because the name is marketing genius. How did you come up with the name? Is it like you just got some friends and like you were at a party like, bitch, you smell good? What is that?
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And in my inner circle, when I would smell them and I'm like, bitch, you smell good. What you got on? And they would say the same things to me. And so I always say my biggest compliments in the world are like, you're a good person and you smell good. That is like the biggest compliments. Like, you're doing good in life. You're treating people well. You're a good citizen. You're a good person. And you smell good. That's like the highest compliments for me
because you're pleasant to be around if you smell good.
Yes, smelling good is so important, and it's a part of your outfit.
But you're not loud.
That's a good point.
But you're not loud. You're present with your scent. Is that correct?
Yeah.
How would you characterize that?
Because I told you I'm an oversprayer, and I talk about this in one of my videos. We're not doing, I'm all over with it. It's all on my head. I'm spraying my legs and everything. Like, if people don't compliment you, it wasn't worth the spray. Period. If you don't get a compliment on the spray, nobody's wearing fragrances for themselves. You just spraying on you just to say that you got it on. You're spraying it because you want others to smell you. So I am an oversprayer, and yeah, my goal is to get a compliment and for people to smell me. So I wore Michael Malul sent me a fragrance a couple of weeks ago, and I wore it when going to Houston, and I did curbside check-in, and he was like, "Ma'am, you smell incredible." Yes, that's the goal. That is the goal. And so, yeah, you spray it because you want other people to smell you, and you need to spray it for people to smell you. So it's really just, and it's also empowering women to find their vibe. There are a lot of popular fragrances out there, but it's nothing more intimate than finding your signature scent, which is so important, because I have mentors, I had managers at work, and I could smell them around the corner. You literally smell them, you're like, oh, I know who that is. And it's such an intimate experience to be able to have a signature scent that you love, that makes you feel how you want to feel. And that really matters, because when I'm feeling more girly and I'm like wearing pink or floral, I wear my floral scents. And when I'm feeling like a bad bitch, I'm gonna bring out like my heavy hitters, right? So, it's like scents can change your mood, and I feel like they attract different energy, and I feel different when I wear them. And so it's just an obsession, and I think it's so important for everybody to know the scents that they like.
We are here with Tisia from Ready to Love, but she's really here from Bitch You Smell Good.
Question.
And Ty has a question for Tisia.
Yeah, question, Tisia. At what point do you prefer to smell the guy? Like at the beginning, during the conversation, or like, let's just say to walk away, and then that scent hits you like,
I want to smell you.
Okay.
I want to smell you when I meet you, honestly. And if you spray in the right places, that's normally how it works. I want to be introduced to you with my scent, and I prefer the same vice versa. So I want to smell you when I meet you, when I walk up, when we first sit down. That's
that initial hug.
Yeah, the hug. Yes, I want to smell you then. I may treat you a little different if I can smell you.
If you can smell him, and you smell
right,
good.
you make a couple extra points, if I can smell you at the beginning, because ain't no point if I smell you when you walk away and it was a lame day,
right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, he was a jerk, but he smelled good. At the end of the day, I need to smell you up front.
Right.
Oh boy.
My go-to was the Yves Saint Laurent. What do you think about that?
Which one?
It's the, what's it called? The Eau de perfume.
Is it a fragrance or is it a cologne? Well, that's a whole nother.
I think it's a
Is it
fragrance.
For men?
Yes, it's for men. It's been my go-to for like 2 years now.
First of all, Ty, you and Shawn smell good. I've smelled both.
I try.
I made a mental note of that. I've smelled both.
Let me go get the bottle, so the people that's listening could also take notes.
Ty does smell good, and Shawn smells good also.
I'm not a cologne wearer. I've struggled to find colognes. I have certain things that I use when I'm like on my body that I layer, like aftershaves and balms and things like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I do want to wear more colognes. I'm kind of like cologne and tattoos. I don't have tattoos because I'm very selective, so I don't know what to put on my body. And it's the same thing with cologne, although cologne washes away. So a man like me, 6'2", and your impression of me, dark, bald, whatever, what would you hope to smell when you see a guy like myself?
It's so funny because one of the girls in the comments, she just commented Chanel Blue. And that is a throwback classic that I feel could never fail any man. That Chanel Blue will get you where you need to go, okay? It is so classic and it's so smooth. But I love a lot of Creeds. Baccarat actually has a couple of unisex scents that I think are great for men. There's so many classic scents that I love. YSL, they actually have a great one as well. But I definitely would go. I love Chanel Blue. I love Creed. Ty, your homeboy wears a lot of Creed. The guy that comes with us. His name Rob. Did I make that up? Rob? Yeah. He wears Creed
Yeah.
also.
She knows who
See,
he
you
is.
remembered.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
We
knows who he
had a good
is.
conversation about that. But yeah, double, you cannot go wrong. I definitely love Creed. Bond number 9. Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
I am. Yeah, I'm putting them in my Amazon shopping list
Yeah.
right now.
He buys during the show. He
But
buys
there,
stuff
you
during
know
the
what,
show.
Sean, for you though, since you are like an aftershave guy, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Joe Malone, but Joe Malone, they're classified as a cologne, which is one up from an aftershave. And so I talked about this a little bit about terminology, but there's aftershave and then there's cologne and then you have like a perfume and then an extra, and so it goes up like that. So a man can actually be wearing a perfume. A perfume is a concentration. It's not actually a perfume for women. And so Joe Malone is actually a cologne, and they have a lot of beautiful, fresh, clean scents. You would really enjoy. Like, I love their Earl Grey. They have a cucumber. They're so fresh and clean.
I like clean smelling things. I like to smell clean. It makes me feel crisp. Being that when it's hot and I sweat, I want to feel fresh as possible.
Yes.
So, and when I shave my head, my pores are open, so I can sweat a little bit more. So I don't want to feel gooky. So the cleaner, the better. So I like this Joe Malone guy.
Joe Malone, and then Layla Bow, who
Layla Bow.
I love also. They actually are, they've been around for a little bit, but they're up and coming because not only do you get to personalize your bottles, but they have kind of like pop-up shops. And so when they release one, you can only get it in like Miami or whatever. And so it's kind of like a thing if you're like into it. And so they just released a niche one in Miami that only the Miami flagship store had. But Layla Bow is called Santal. It's amazing. Also, it's also unisex.
Yes, folks, I am writing these things down. I got the list right here. When you have someone whose olfactory is sharp, and the proof is in the pudding. Every time I see Tisia, she smells great. She looks great. She looked like she cared about how she appears, and that's very important. It's not even. You would think it's a little thing, but we take people's appearance for granted. And I think part of your appearance is your presentation. And your presentation is also the olfactory and what you present to people that makes you want to be pleasant. And that's what smells are all about. So while you're talking about this male cologne stuff, I do want to get back to the focus because we do have like 70% of our audience is women. We're working on that, but it is what it is. We're two good looking guys. But since we're 70% audience women.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome, ladies. What do you have there?
Oh, sorry. So, these are my lipstick baddies. This is Spots, and it's actually called Boss. This is one of my favorites. But one of my very similar ones to this that's half the price is from the Lip Bar, and it's called Hot Mama. It's a very similar color, and you can use my coupon code, which is Tisia, Tisia, in capital letters. I need to tell the ladies that because always comments on my lipstick.
And that coupon code Tisia is for what brand again?
It's for the Lip Bar, and they have a color called Hot Mama that's very similar to this shade that I have on now, and it's half the price of the Smash box that I'm actually wearing, which is called Boss.
Yeah, lipstick is always on point.
Thank you.
Always.
I love lipsticks. Actually, the things that I'm a brand ambassador for are, fragrances, lipsticks, and bras also.
So I want to talk about...
I've seen this, and that's also part of the reason why. She's the bras. Go ahead, Tyrone.
No, go ahead.
Keep it cute. Keep it cute.
She keeps it cute. She does keep it cute.
Yeah.
Man, just keep looking at it. Go ahead, Ty. You have a question.
Remember earlier you were talking about thinking of a person and then automatically kind of remembering what they smell like.
Yeah.
Just wondering if that is a good or a bad thing, because I've literally only used 2 separate fragrances for like the last 6 or 7 years, honestly.
I do like to diversify because, you know, one of my friends, we were actually, you know, traveling together, and she was putting on Baccarat, and it was like 2 p.m. And I was like, that is an after 5 cent. You cannot wear Baccarat in the daytime, period. I don't care what anybody says. And it's like, where are your fresh scents? Where are your floral scents? And so you need 2 to 3, Ty. Like, you need a good, like, light, fresh scent. You don't want to smell sultry at a day party. You want to smell like good and light at a day party.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that Chanel Blue might be my third one.
I'm telling you, that Chanel.
I've had this Hannah Moray.
Oh, that is throwback. People sleep on that. Do they still make that? Is that discontinued?
Wait, did you say Ava Maria?
No,
what's the name of it?
The Hannah Moray. I've had this for years,
Oh,
and years.
That is a throwback.
But the last couple of years,
I've
switched to the Yves Saint Laurent.
I love that one too. But that one's just so deep. It's dark.
Yeah, it's strong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a sultry kind of late night vibe. You know, you need something fresher for the day.
Okay, you're right. What would you recommend? Something fresher for the day.
So I'm not sure if you smelled Creed spring water. Also, Byretto has a gypsy water, and that Creed Love and White or the Creed spring water is absolutely incredible, and it's very light. Like, literally, it's one of the girls wrote on my comments, it's giving Surfboard by Beyonce. Like, it reminds you of a beach, you know, hanging outside by the pool. It's just so fresh, and it has like a coconutty kind of thing. It's beautiful. And as I always recommend, that there are so many ways to get samples. You can go to Micro Perfumes to get a sample, and you can go to any department store and ask for a sample, because I am a try before you buy person.
I'm about to look at that. Is that the spring water or the spring flower?
So they have a spring flower, but no, Creed Love and White. Have you smelled Creed Love and White? And follow me here. This is supposed to be Michelle Obama's signature scent, but it is unisex. And if you have ever smelled this on a man, it's something extra about a man who can do a unisex scent and not like, oh, I smell girly. Like, no, you don't. You smell amazing.
What? So, yes. You said that's Creed. What's that again?
Love
and White.
Love and White. Okay, right now.
And Ty, Byretto gypsy water.
Okay.
Now, to see, we had some questions in the comments, so we usually don't break into the comments because we're formatted. But there's a couple here. One asked, is Versace on a man in the workplace too much?
Which Versace are we talking about?
I knew you'd say that, so she didn't give me that, so we can keep on moving.
But you know, Versace is always usually citrusy, so they have a like for the women, they have bright crystal, which is always very light, and Versace is not known to have a lot of lasting power because it's citrusy, and it usually comes in like a cologne or a toilette, and so it doesn't last too long. So I like Gucci Flora, Miss Lady A. Yes, that's floral.
And once again, I want to remind people, there's a code Tisia for lip bar. The lip bar in the
some beautiful lippies. You can check my page too. It's on there, but
it's on her page.
The lip bar.
And is the shade Hot Mama, you said?
Yes, the shade is Hot Mama.
The shade is Hot Mama, and the code is Tisia.
Ooh, baby. Tom Ford Tuscan leather is everything. Who is this? Yes, that's Tom Ford private. The private blend of the Tuscan leather is everything.
I don't have enough paper. So let me ask you this. So how much stuff do you get sent to you since your endeavor of Bitch I Smell Good?
So this is actually, I need to review this one. They sent me this a while. Child, I'm getting into it. But this one is actually Black owned, and I need to review this one. And they sent me some stuff. I got a package all the way from London last week. So I'm a little behind on my comments, y'all. In there with your girl. But this is like my third fragrance that someone has sent me in the mail. So I have to review this one next.
Well, you know what's so funny? Like you were when I saw you at the Ready to Love DMV/Potomac premiere party that we went to, you were like, I don't know how to pace myself. I don't know if I have enough content. It sounds like you have content that could go on for oodles and oodles and oodles. And now it's like trying to find time to actually fill all that. What do you say?
And not just not overthinking. And when you start getting into it's like, is the ring light here? Did you comb your hair? Did you? And it's like people just want to see what you're doing, like this perfect execution, and you can really get caught up in that because your videos are on your page for however long you keep them there. And so really, you know, even that video what I did building my perfume stand with no makeup. I was whitening my teeth at the same time. My hair was everywhere, and people were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" You know, and so people were really into it. And I just like, you know, don't overthink it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to start like cranking out the content. Yeah.
And let's get this YouTube page popping too.
Yeah, let's get that going. So
I got you.
Oh my gosh, I've been trying to get over to YouTube. It's not enough hours in a day. Hey, Chloe, there's not enough hours in a day. I have been trying to make my way over to YouTube. I can say so much more on YouTube. Like here it's like 60-second reel, which is so limiting. People do not understand. I have made so many videos, and to crush it down to 60 seconds, it's like, yo, I need to just go over to YouTube so I can talk for however long.
But you're not freestyling, are you? I mean, that's written material, isn't it? Like you write it and you perform it and you practice it, or how does it work? Because I remember seeing your P's when we were talking about performance and whatever. Like, if you can go into that one, like, what was the process of creating that video with when you talk about the P's? Remember that?
Yeah, because I think that it's like, well, what should you be looking for in a fragrance? That's so important because it could smell good when you spray it out the bottle, and then over time, you're like, I don't smell it anymore. Like, you know, what's happening? So, you know, you want projection, you want power, and you want performance. Those things are so important to a fragrance. And so I think a lot of times we just buy what smells good. And if you really get in depth with it, you really want to know, what should you be looking for in a quality fragrance. And honestly, not so many fragrances are not actual quality because the blend may be off, or it's just not a good concentration, and it just doesn't last that long. So yeah, you can't expect excellence out of all of them, but you definitely should know what qualifies as a quality fragrance. Yeah.
Do you have your own fragrance line?
No, I don't, but I have gotten so many suggestions about, and I really do want to tap into that later down the line. I have so much stuff to do, y'all. I'm just doing a lot of things right now, so I definitely want to tap into that soon. But I got a couple of good friends that have tapped into the fragrance and like beard line stuff, and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, they have a whole chemist, they're mixing stuff up and things. So yeah, I'll get to that one day.
Sounds like you need a staff. Sounds like you need an intern.
Somebody wrote me the other today. I'm like, man, it sounds like you need an assistant. Girl, I do need an assistant. A lot of going down. A lot going.
Oh boy. Ty, you got something?
No, I'm saying you're probably gonna need somebody to test that on too.
Yeah.
Walk by, walk up.
He don't kill me, but you know who else has a fragrance? Our dear castmate Phil. That,
you know, I heard about this.
Incredible. I'm like, yo, Phil, why haven't I got a sample? I still got. Yeah. I've been trying to get a sample of that for forever, but Phil has a legit fragrance. It's called Here, and it smells absolutely incredible. He gave me a little vial, and I sprayed it on me, and a dude stopped me in a parking lot. He was like, "Girl, what you got on?"
I think they're going to stop you anyway.
They are going to stop you anyway. But is it for men or is it for women? You said Sincere because that's one of his nicknames. It's one of Phil's nicknames.
You got to be bold to wear men's fragrances. It is for men, and I sprayed it on me. I sprayed it all over me and went outside, and this man was like, "You smell incredible." But yeah, there's a very thin line to me between like masculine and feminine scents. And so I thought Phil smelled good, so I wanted to spray it on me too. And I did. I was like, wow, you smell good. Like,
Phil, you smell good.
Bitch,
that's a whole
I wonder if he would have still told Phil he smelled good had he smelled Phil instead of you.
Ty, that nigga would have kept walking.
Probably.
Sorry. That
Or
Negro
he
would have
liked
kept
it because he
walking.
probably felt like it smelled like something he would wear. So I don't know if he was smell good because I smell good or because it was a scent that he liked as a man. But I don't know. I don't care about if it's for a man or a woman. I wear what I think smells good. But yeah, I hope Phil releases it because it is good. It smells really good.
Well, we're at the top of the hour here. It's 9:02, but this is a live show. It's also available on YouTube after this recording. We're here with Tisia Saffold from Bitch You Smell Good, and she is breaking down all sorts of things. It's almost impossible to whittle all this down, but she's with us for a few more minutes at the least before we bring in Toya Carmichael, Spades champion. Tisia, remember when me, you, Ty, and Liva played Spades?
And you underbid it the whole effing time.
I know.
You mean when I won the whole effing time?
When
Oh
it
my
would have been
gosh.
playing sandbags, you would have got your ass busted.
No. See,
you underbid it the whole time, Shawn.
I did not underbid. Y'all underperformed.
Yes, you did.
You know what's so funny? Spades is the only sport, because the way I play it is a sport, that when people fail, they talk about how you can't play.
Wow. Y'all talking today? It's cool.
I said it.
You hit it?
The whole time.
We even got them other Chicago boys up. We got Dante and his boy up.
You needed to play sandbags in your future.
I play sandbags. I play sandbags.
You're bidding.
I do math. See, I got pen and paper right now.
Y'all,
we know what the deal really is.
Shawn needs to
I play spades. I play poker. I got chips. You know, y'all want to put some chips on it? Y'all want to get down? We can do that.
my mama used to pay the rent clean. Okay, spades and bid whist. Okay, so
bid whist
I learned
was
from the best, and Shawn, you underbid all the time.
I did not underbid
around here.
We didn't underbid. Y'all suckers just never had it. Y'all never had it.
Oh my
like
God.
7-Up. Never had it, never will. That's all I got.
Yes, another. I hate an underbidder. Who does that?
I hate an underbidder while they losing. You know, y'all just losing, hating underbidders. Like, you know, it's so hilarious. It's not a cheat. It's not a cheat. You know what? That's the rules of the game. You know,
that's why you gotta play sandbags.
You know, you shouldn't be bidding other people's hands. You're supposed to be bidding your hand.
Yeah, you should be bidding yours too.
I was bidding mine. Y'all just kept giving away books because y'all suckers kept bumping heads.
No, we didn't.
Oh my God.
That's one thing. Ty and I never put each other out.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Anyways, y'all see y'all didn't break.
Right.
Hey,
did
we win?
Take that shit serious around here.
It is serious. It is serious. Where I'm from, there's parts of Georgia where board is 5. That's how tough it is. Just saying. Y'all don't know about Georgia board. Y'all don't know about that. I'm just gonna not look at Tisia because Tisia will give me a stare. She will stare me through time. I'm not gonna look at Tisia. I'm just gonna write down some more bitch you smell good stuff.
Albert.
What you got coming up, Tisia? What's gonna be your next couple of topics?
So a lot of people have been, this is so ironic, but I actually was speaking to a dermatologist. So many women have written me to say they're either, men and women, allergic to fragrances or they give them a terrible migraine. And so I really wanted to do some research into that to see which fragrances are more friendly if you have those type of adverse reactions. So I really wanted to talk about that. And a lot of people are asking about layering and mixing scents. So like layering with lotions and mixing with different sprays. So I'm hoping that those will be some that are coming up soon.
Have you ever thought about like doing something quick on the side, like your dental routine? Because
it's immaculate, right?
You're being motivating the hell out of me. I done invested in equipment.
Her teeth are immaculate, right?
Oh shit.
People write about that too, and that's why I said on my post before we start, I'm whitening my teeth right now. I am an oral hygiene snob. I definitely appreciate teeth. I hope everyone loves their teeth. You only get one set. You only get one set, so take good care of them. And
which one do you use? Not to mean
it's
cut you off,
I think it's over there. It's a Glow Pro, but the thing is that you have to use professional grade whitening. So like Glow Pro has one on Amazon, but that's not professional grade whitening gel. You need to go to your dentist and get professional grade whitening gel because that light, you can get that light from anywhere Amazon.
Anyway,
But it's the gel that you paint that really takes your teeth up. whitening shades, you know. So that's the trick. I got
See,
my dentist.
just learned some shit today.
Mm-hmm. The gel is the key. The gel is the key.
Well, what about the whitening with the gel? Like Smile Direct, they give you these the light thing that you stick in there, but you gel it up first, so it can have like a double impact.
That's the same thing, but the thing is that the professional grade whitening you can't get over the counter. It's illegal to sell it over the counter. You have to get it from a professional. It's kind of like a doctor writing a prescription. And so my dentist, I bought the kit from her, but I also have professional grade whitening gel that can only be given by a professional. So yeah, and it ain't cheap either. It ain't cheap.
So I'm gonna we promised to see you till 9:05. She's still with us. I do have to ask like a few Radio Love questions, and then we're gonna bring in Toya. If Toya, I know you're listening. Just hang tight for a second. We're gonna bring you in to see. Do you want to sit in with us when we talk to Toya, or you gotta go?
Toya.
Yeah, when Toya comes in, I mean, you don't have to stick around long, but it'd be nice if you wanted to have a question and chime in with her, because it is a charity event that she has going, and Toya's quite the community activist that you don't see on TV. But before we do that, what are your thoughts right now of the Radio Love DMV cast, and what are your comparisons to the DC cast as you see it, if you want to make those comparisons?
I never watched when I was on screen because it's cringy to watch back, and I hate the sound of my voice. So I never watched while I was on. So I'm happy to watch while they're on, and it's not me anymore. So I've been enjoying it. It's juicy. They got a couple, I really like it. I think that they have a mature crowd. There's some twists and turns. And so, yeah, I've been enjoying it. I think it's really good. I'm interested to see like what that I Choose You scene is going to be like. Who's going to be with who? I feel like they've been trying to throw us some curveballs, but I think
it's genuinely watchable. Like I didn't.
Yes.
I think our season was so full of cringy moments. Like some people, it made people's head hurt. But this season seems like I always say a palate cleanser for those who watch the show. The show we're talking about, Radio Love, on Only, in case you didn't know.
Love? Yeah, their season is actually about love.
Yeah. There's some heat on their season.
Yeah, they really. We need to do an all-star. We should start off. Hey, yo, whoever didn't find love, y'all can come back for the all-star.
Lego. Let's find an island. Let's do it for a couple of days.
We need to start mixing these seasons. But I think from what I could predict that it could be a couple good connections on there. So, yeah.
Ty said he didn't get the memo.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I'm anxious to see it. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, I'm rooting for them too. And I've always told people, it's great to be Ready to Love emeritus. Like you said, Tisia, we're not on the show. We're not on the hot seat. We can sit back. It's like, okay, I think we know where this is going, but we can just sit back and watch. Yeah. And if people get into our inbox, they could like give us some tips. We're at 10 past the hour. We're here with Tisia Saffold from Bitch You Smell Good, but she's also not just an olfactory maven with the smell good. She's giving us tips about teeth whitening. She's looking into hypoallergens. She's doing everything because she's curious about everything, and that's what I like, and that's one of the reasons why I did the Shawn show. The idea was like, let's get people that you know and folks from the cast and show them in their element creatively, because it's not just about, here's a rose or something like that. And I'm so honored that she is here sharing her beauty tips, because she is essentially like an esthetician. Getting down.
Beauty.
Because fashion is the real deal. Ty, you have anything before I bring in Toya?
It's good to see you, Tisia.
You too, Ty.
We need to get back on the Spades table, whip some ass too, because all this talking right here.
Y'all need to start whipping some ass.
Hey, Toya.
Hey, Toya.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How are you? So this is my friend. I've been in DC it'll be 15 years next month. Probably have a party with that. And 15 years next month. And I knew Toya because she is a great friend to my old neighbor. And we've kept up in touch with each other, and we've done charity events, and she keeps bugging me about Spades and all that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play. I think I've
Tell
done
the truth. I
one
saved your
tournament.
life. I saved your life. Got you that
You know
shot.
what? You
That
know what?
golden shot.
You know what? I was gonna tell people you saved my life, but I kept that a secret because back then, that vaccine life was hot.
Listen.
But you know, people ain't about that vaccine life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Toya Carmichael. She is a lawyer as well. She has a law degree, but she does so many things. And founder of Carmichael Communications. What is it?
Carmichael Community
Carmichael
Connections.
Community Connections, CCC. And
we got the hookup.
Yes. And in the lower corner is Tisia Saffold from Bitch You Smell Good and Ray Love. And of course, my wingman, Ty Wilson, is here. But Toya is here namely because she loves some spades. And she's got a spades tournament almost, it feels like before COVID, you had like 2 or 3 spades tournaments. And she's raising money for colleges, right? Tell us about your tournament.
In the spirit of these nomination hearings and fact checking, I just want to check a few facts. It's been 8 years, Shawn, 8. So we had our 7th annual Spades tournament in October. I used to do it once a year for my birthday because it's easy to get money from your friends on your birthday, right? They want to celebrate you anyway. And so we started the Play for a Purpose Spades tournament to support local charities here in the DMV. And every year, you know, your people, they're like, Toya, we want to play more. You should host it more regularly. So for 2022, we're bringing the Spades tournament once a quarter. And our first one for this year is on Thursday night at Sud House.
Sud House in D.C., Washington, D.C., Sud House on U Street, folks. So, you know, Ty and Tisia, y'all want to talk that noise? Come on, Cletus.
Yeah, I heard Tisia was talking a lot of trash, Shawn. She was calling you out. So I'm like, girl,
she called me out, but she's still on the losing end of that trash talk. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's the only game where you can lose consecutively and talk how you good. How?
Excuse me. He got a little carried away.
That's what champions do.
Joker, deuce. It's just like a lot of mixed styles. So how do y'all do that in the tournament?
So our tournament is straight up, you know, Joker, deuce. We take out the 2 of hearts. We take out the 2 of diamonds. We keep it simple. You said your mama taught you how to play. She's a bid whist player, so we don't have any of these funny rules, okay? We're not doing blind. We're not doing nil. None of that. Straight up spades, 30-minute rounds. I feel like you need to come and get a rematch with Shawn because I played spades with Shawn before, and he will make you want to slap him.
He is so irritating.
I'm so good at it, though.
Oh, my God.
You're so good. When you're so good. Whew.
Listen,
Bushmills, the drink of champions who beat Tisia and Tyrone in spades. Bushmills.
Yeah, he's one of those players that's gonna bid a 2 or a 3 every hand
and have like 7.
Right. And just wait for you to make a mistake.
I actually wait bid for you to make like a mistake. 6 or 7 one time, and we had like 11 books. It was like, where do these extra books come from? You know, it wasn't like I had 11 books in my hand. Y'all suckers just didn't make y'all books. People be getting mad when they don't make books, Toya. Be mad.
And see, this is why we're giving people at least 4 chances to play this year. So I feel like all 3 of you need to come out on Thursday night. We're starting the tournament at 7 o'clock sharp. That means Black people show up at 5:30. Just put 5:30 on your calendar so you'll be there on time.
Lord, it ain't gonna end till Saturday because Joe's gonna show up at midnight.
Right.
Listen. We have cash prizes, and some really cool raffle prizes as well. The money is going to support scholarships for high school and college students through the scholarship committee at my church because I am a Christian woman when I'm not playing spades. Okay, try Jesus, don't try me. But we want to help the kids because just like some of those we talked about are not cheap. College is not cheap, okay?
You have to have your team already?
I'm sorry?
You have to have your team already or your partner, or do you get selected when you get
No, you don't. You can buy a single player ticket and we can set you up with a partner when you get to the tournament.
That's risky.
Now, if you Ty said that's risky. Yeah, people come with razor blades. These days.
Listen, Ty, let me tell you 2 things. Most of the people that come to my tournament are excellent spades players, so you can't go wrong. Okay. And I don't know if you're single or not because you all are beautiful. love happens at my tournament as well. I have a couple that will be getting married soon. They had their first date at the Play for a Purpose Spades tournament. So you might lose the game, but you might win the money. You know, you don't know.
That's what's up.
Magic happens.
I was just about to ask, how close have y'all gotten to having a fight there?
No fights. It's all in love.
Okay.
We don't fight. I'm an officer of the court. We can't have that. I'm not going to jail for y'all. No. Not at all. No fighting. No fighting.
The woman who's not fighting, but is throwing a Spades tournament, which is an invitation for Negroes to fight, is Toya Carmichael from Carmichael Community Connections. She's throwing a Spades tournament on Thursday. The Eventbrite is listed on her page on IG at Toya La Hoya and at Carmichael Community Connections. Correct.
And I'm going to throw it in the chat for you all. And let me just tell you this: if you get in a fight and you get arrested, don't worry. We have plenty of attorneys, so we will have good counsel for you on site. Just in case you need it, all right?
Don't sound like it's worth it. You don't want that life. You don't want that life.
Want that.
I do want to veer off for a second because you are an officer of the court. You know, you have your JD and all that good stuff. Your thoughts and your feelings, and to see it, this goes to you because you're both Black women. Your thoughts on finally having a Black nominee, Judge Ketanji Jackson.
Did you see the route that she took? Did you see that?
Oh, we talked about that too a couple of weeks ago.
So, you know, I'll say this. I'm also a former administrative law judge here in the District of Columbia. So I have been appointed and served on the bench. And being an attorney is a really difficult job. As she shared today, your job is to represent your clients. And when you're working for big firms and big law, you don't get to choose your client. Unless you're the partner and you're running your own firm, you do not get to choose your client. And someone as excellent as Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is going to do the best job she can for whoever she's representing. So, you know.
She even got several conservative endorsements, including a very conservative judge, a couple of conservative institutes. I want to say the Cato Institute has even endorsed her. And yet the Republicans are kind of mealy-mouthed as far as her credentials, although she already survived and got their votes to be on the district court. Correct?
Correct. This is her third nomination hearing. So she's not new to this. She is true to this game. She knows how it goes. And if you really listen to their questions, they didn't have any real gripes or questions about her qualifications, right? They're just kind of picking and digging for straws, looking for anything they can to, you know, play politics and make their points against President Joe Biden. So it's not really about Judge Brown Jackson. It's just politics.
I have something where it's quasi-related in the Shawn Says segment at the end of the hour that wraps up the show, but we'll get to that later. To see your thoughts real quick on the nomination as a Black woman and just as a person in general. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's always like, how far have we come? But also it's just like, it's how far have we come, but also this is only how far we've come. It's just really, it's a really, I would say, surreal experience to watch the first of anything at this day and age, you know, 2022, you know. And so I think that she's going to need the army behind her, and, you know, they're gunning for her. So I just wish the best. It is inspiring. Like, this is what our children and little brown. So, yeah.
All right, let's get back to the Spades action, Toya. You're a lover of Spades. When was the first time you played Spades? And what was the feeling when you first got humiliated at a Spades table? Can you remember any of that?
I don't think I've ever been humiliated at a Spades table. Ever.
Never? Not even your first time? Like, you didn't have like a cavalcade of shit talkers or something at your table, or smacking the cards and making them spin around or anything like that?
Never. My parents taught me how to play spades when I was probably 8 years old. I've been playing at the big adult table since I was about 10. And, you know, they used to host a lot of parties, and they had 2 kids. So all their friends, they'd be like, bring the kids. We can't go out, so we're going to play in. And because we were so good, they let us play. And when adults didn't want to play with us because they were children, they showed them the door. Like, this is our house, and these are our kids. And if they want to play, they can play. So I've been playing spades for longer than I want to share, because y'all don't need to know how old I am.
I know how old you are. You have birthday parties and spades tournaments on your birthday party.
But I don't tell them how old I am. I just tell them how old the tournament is. Okay.
I know how old you are, but we ain't gonna say that. But Ty, you out of Massachusetts. Tisia, you out of the Midwest side. I'm from Georgia. What's so
Joker Deuce is not a Midwest style. You either pick ace high or jokers, and the two of the heart diamond come out.
I'm not a fan of that.
Learned the big ways to play in college.
Them affirmative action spades players, they need all them deuces. I just like Joker ace.
I feel like that's the HBCU thing. I don't know where that Joker deuce came in at, but I find that HBCU grass, they love the two.
Yeah,
I don't know what
we just try to put an extra deuce in there.
Joker deuce, and I was like, what you talking
about? So to be clear, and to fact check, since that's what we've been doing tonight. I'm originally from Florida, Shawn.
I thought you said Massachusetts, Ty. You never said Florida. When you rep Florida?
We get the Keys. I went to high school in Massachusetts, but my heart is in 305. I say that all the time. And this is a real tweet from me. It says, by age 12, you should already have 5 years of spades playing experience. That is a real tweet.
I play with my mom.
Love it, love it. Listen, also on my website, carmichaelcommunityconnections.com, I have a whole lesson around spades. I'm not only a spades champion, I am now a certified spades expert. Okay. And to your point, Ty, we've been out here teaching the kids. We are starting a spades ministry. All right. So a few weeks ago, I had the honor of teaching some Jack and Jill kids uptown,
Oh, nice.
Because their mamas didn't teach them how to play. Some of their mamas still don't know how to play. So we had to go and we taught them how to play spades and dominoes. So when they go to college, they'll be ready and they will hold on to their black cards.
Yeah, that's important.
And listen, and for Black History Month, I taught a whole company how to play spades. Because what's blacker than spades, right? And so
Kool-Aid, but it's about the same. Kool-Aid and spades.
But Kool-Aid is bad for you. Spades, you might win some money.
You also get killed playing spades. That shit bad for you too.
For the record, speaking of black, my deck of cards right now is from the Martin show.
You got the Martin deck cards.
And Jerome is the big joker, of course.
Definitely have the Martin cards.
I just keep the classics. I keep the bicycles, the blue bicycles.
Definitely have the Martin cards downstairs. I have the waterproof black pack downstairs, and we will be playing with the bicycle cards on Thursday, Shawn.
Yeah.
Question for you guys though: what's the big joker?
The one with the guarantee.
The guarantee.
Tisia, what do you say, sis?
So what's the big joker?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that? What's the big joker?
The guarantee or the actual big joker?
Oh, you mean like words written on the card?
Right. One is big and one says guarantee on it, but it's actually small.
Right. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking.
Which one is the big joker in your house? What are your house rules?
The big joker. The one is the big joker. And
okay.
The one is the small joker, the little joker.
So see, guys, all of you
guarantee.
It's very important to set these rules out at the beginning.
Yeah.
On Thursday, guarantee.
No, the guarantee is the big joke.
The guarantee.
What?
Yeah.
That says guarantee the book.
The guarantee, because that's the guarantee in the book.
I want to get a deck of cards. Can you let me see?
I got you.
Get those bicycle cards outside.
Now, I'll tell you what bicycle has done, though. The new bicycles, the standard deck, they colorize them now. They don't even have guarantee.
That's correct.
So
wait a minute, hold on.
Now there's another deck that has the guarantee and the bicycle smaller, but it's a guarantee with all the writing. That's the one that's a bond. Your word is bond is guaranteed.
Hold on, Kyle, let me see your deck.
Oh, my deck just got Jerome, but I think it does have the guarantee on it. Let me find my joke.
I think when I'll recognize it.
It just got the writing.
No, the writing has always been a small joker in my house. Always.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I did learn that as a young age.
House rules always rule.
Yeah, but house rules are rules. But I did learn that with my cousins and stuff playing. I was about 7 years old. No. It's the one with the writing on it. But I'm like, wait, I got the big one.
When we played,
these are my jokers.
was it Do we play with the one with the writing? They have writing?
There was writing on
That,
those.
yeah.
It was guaranteed because I think we designated that in the rotations.
And was it that we played with as a small?
Yeah,
Or...
the big one was a small. That's probably why y'all lost, because she didn't know which one was.
I have a visual thing. I can't picture which one y'all talking about ways.
Yeah, it looks the same, but it has guarantee at the top, and the Joker's a little smaller, I think. And but it looks like that bad boy right there.
Oh, baby! Once I learn the house rules, I can play whatever way y'all play. I'm still gonna bust that ass.
Oh, you about to bust one?
Don't play with me, okay?
Cletus, come on.
I just want to say I was watching you all talk earlier, and Tisia was real calm and she was real cute, and then y'all started talking space and she turned into a whole nother woman.
Listen, my cousin like, don't ever play with her because you won't be no more. Don't play.
Yeah, you about to taste some Chicago.
I love it. I love it. My boy, I brought this guy I was dating to the Spades game one night, and my homeboy told him, like, oh, yeah, you like her? She's real sweet, right? She turns into a straight thug, straight Compton all day when the Spades game gets going.
Okay, let's talk about that. Ladies, y'all love Spades so much. A man's spade game, or at least a Spades walk or attitude, if it's weak or if it's not confident, does that tell you something about a man? Does that turn you off or on? If you could talk about that, or it doesn't matter.
Listen, if you don't know how to play spades, we can't be together. Period. You don't play, you don't want to learn, it's not gonna work.
You know, Toya, I know some of the men that you dated. They didn't look like they could.
You don't know anybody I dated. Don't you know my age? What do you know my age?
I've seen some of them.
About the men I dated.
Well, first of all, I'm older than you, so don't worry about that. So you're clear on that. But I know some of them jokers who came around. Them jokers, they couldn't do anything, you know.
And you don't see them now, do you?
Yeah, they're gone.
So you answered your own question.
Which one, the joker? The one with the two on it? No.
I would prefer not knowing how to play at all than being a spades player. That is just like, if you're rigging and cut me out and all of that stuff. Like, I just rather you just say you don't know how to play, and that will probably get you off sitting down, just being a terrible partner.
Ty, do you have a preference with your women knowing how to play spades or not?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just tell you, I did put out this tweet that said, I saw a video earlier that made me realize that my previous failed relationships. There's a real tweet, January 27th, 2019.
I love it. I love it.
You know, for me, like, it's not necessarily spades, but I do feel like if you don't use hot sauce in any form or fashion, we're not gonna work. And I've been with some women who didn't use hot sauce, or they ate chicken with a knife and fork. I'm like, that's too cute.
Yeah.
Cute. Fried chicken is too cute. Chicken with a bone in it, you got to pick that up. That's my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, just sacrifice a couple fingers, you know.
Listen, Shawn, my parents will have been married for 50 years. Next week, 50 whole years.
Congrats to them.
Black people are still staying married, y'all. And I have not beat them in spades yet. Ever. They got their game down. They got their cheat code. They got their signals.
Wow.
Well, what is it that
spades will make or break you? I'm telling you.
Why can't you defeat them in the odds that cards present?
Because they did. They already did. They got 50 years.
50 plus years of playing spades together.
Do y'all go to 500? Do y'all don't do blinds or nothing like that? What is it? Just
no blinds. No blinds in our house. Just straight up. They don't even know what nil is. I don't think they even know what blind is. That's not a thing.
Yeah, who teaches people to purposely lose? You know what I mean?
The blind.
You like the blinds, you said, to see?
Absolutely. It's like Return of the Underdog.
Yeah.
It's a 3-point shot in basketball.
Blind six.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. Do you know how to play spades with two people?
Absolutely.
Okay. You must learn that too.
Well, what we do, I don't know. You all tell me. You deal 3 hands, and you just take that third hand out, and now you play. Well, how you play with spades with 2 people?
You put the deck, put the deck down, pick up a card. If you like it, you keep it. Put the next card in the pile.
Yeah.
So it's like poker, like old
No.
school poker. No,
Nope.
like poker in the degree where you
No.
will pull some cards and then you let some other cards go.
But if you look at the first one, you can't look at the second one. You just got to throw it in the pile.
Got it.
But if you look at the first one, you don't like it, you throw it in a pile. You got to pick up the next one.
Yeah.
Feel like
So
some David Copperfield
it kind
shit
of
be
works
happening
in a
there.
way that
Nope.
you know what cards are in there that you didn't choose if you
Yeah.
looked at them, but you don't know what the other cards are that you did not see.
Right.
So it's still at that layer of the unknown,
Yes.
not knowing what the other person has and kind of figuring it out as you play the game.
Yeah. And there's a strategy there too, still. And picking up those cards.
Let me do this radio thing. It's
Yeah,
9:32.
I ain't ready. Yeah,
It's 9:32, 32 past the hour. You're watching the Shawn Show, the penultimate Shawn Show for Volume 1. Our last show for this volume is next week. I'm here with my wingman, Ty, but my guests are Toya Carmichael from Carmichael Community Connections. She has a spades tournament. I put it in the box that's pinned, cccspadestourney.eventbrite.com, and also Tisia Saffold from Bitch You Smell Good, an all-around purveyor of all things tasteful. That makes her a bon vivant of nice things. And with that said, a question for you, Toya, for people who don't play spades but want to contribute, because you're given to a worthy cause. And this guy's the truth, folks. I've never met a more charitable woman in my 15 years of being in DC than Toya Carmichael. And we don't even talk. We might like run each other on the street maybe once a year or every other year, right? But Toya always has a positive word. She has a positive perspective or trajectory for things that she wants. And she got me on, was it Christmas? It was a Christmas I stayed here. And we were giving food to the homeless. Like, ain't this some shit? I could be asleep. But we were there giving away food to the homeless. By the way, that's one of our other castmates' first dates, Corey. But we won't get into that because it's a terrible first date. But so, Toya, is there any way that people can contribute, give fiscal donations? Have you set anything up if they don't play spades? Because we have an audience that has stretched from DC to Wyoming. I've actually looked at the numbers and the metrics. So people who can't be here, how can they help?
Absolutely. They can go to that Eventbrite link. I have a donation option there as well, so they can make a donation. And of course, there are no fees associated with that. So whatever you donate, 100% of that will go towards the scholarship fund.
Does the scholarship fund target certain schools, or is it just a cumulative scholarship fund for any kid who want to go to school?
So
yeah, go ahead.
These scholarships are for students who attend Allen Chapel AME Church, the Cathedral of Southeast. I am the president of the Tony P. Farmer Scholarship Committee there. And so all of the money will go into that fund. We have 6 high school seniors and we have 7 current college students. So we give our college students $500 stipends each semester, and we give our high school students up to about $2,000 per year when they graduate.
In the years that you've been doing this tournament, and then I'll hand it over to the rest of the panel, can you guesstimate how much money you've raised just as one person in your love of spades?
So in 8 years, I would say we've probably raised about $3,000. The first organization that we donated to was Young Lives. It's an organization that supports teen moms. And then for years, we donated the funds to Thrive DC, which is the organization that we went to serve food for during the holiday season. And that's a homeless services organization, located up in Northwest.
All right. Open up to the board. Any questions, guys?
Toya, what is your spades winning percentage?
Holy shit.
Ooh,
Ty wants your baseball card, Toya.
You know,
He
I
wants
play
your baseball
spades so
card.
much. I play spades so much. I haven't even quantified that. When I was in college at Cal, I used to be part of the comeback queens. Like, we would always be down and boom, come back and win the game. That's a hard question. But in terms of the spades tournament, in 8 years, 8 tournaments, I've only won it one time.
Okay.
So.
Well,
blame it on your partner then.
She's out of town this week, so I'm not going to throw her under the bus. But Shawn, you know who my partner is? Miss Moore.
Miss who?
Moore.
Really?
Yeah, that's my partner for the tournament. She's out of town this year.
She's Chicago, Tisia. And let me tell you something. When she is Chicago and wrong, she is Chicago and wrong. That shit was dangerous. When we had it was like the second hand. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, all right, cool. It'd be nice to see her again.
Yeah, she won't be here on Thursday, but she'll be here for the next one. So
okay, very well, very well. Cool. So let me do a roundup. We can finish up the show like this because this is going to be my edit point. If you all want to stick around afterwards, I'm going to do a Shawn Says, and then we can just talk about anything. It'll be a free-for-all because I'm sure Toya has a lot of questions and stuff for Tisia as well and for us on Ready Love. For those of you who wanted more Ready Love conversation, sorry, I don't have it in me. We will have a Ready Love panel coming up after the break because Ready Love apparently is stretching in this iteration into the next month. And when we come back from our 2-week break after next week, Ready Love will still be going on. So we'll have panel discussions. I'll have some cast members. Got some great stuff planned for you there. But quite frankly, I was more enthused about learning about Tisia beyond our time on Ready Love because we've talked that bitch out. And Toya, it's great to see my great friend who got me a vaccine. God's honest truth, I was the last vaccinated person in D.C. on Inauguration Day. On Joe Biden's Inauguration Day. And Toya was a big part of that. So with this, I'm going to wrap it. Just hold tight. If you all could mute your thing, it's time for my closeout essay known as Shawn Says. I can't do it. It's my bad hand. And Shawn Says tonight, rooting interest. So bear with me. This is the geek part of the show. You gotta love it. And the greater, underfunded, and the out-resourced comes and sticks it to the big, bloated privilege who expects to be better just because of the history of their prestige. And now, slowly but surely, the little guy, the Davids, if you will, gain the respect of the Goliaths. Here's the kicker. You don't know whether I am talking about NCAA basketball tournament, AKA March Madness, or if I'm talking about, oh, I don't know, say, diversity in America. Yeah, you see it, don't you? Well, put it this way. When your bracket is busted by that small-ass school you never heard of, a certain pigment-deficient persuasion of fan will tell you that the underdog, the little guy, is literally why they love NCAA basketball tournament. Great. They see a little school get in there against a powerhouse and beat them fair and square in thrilling and affable fashion. But let's change the words small schools to say blacks or Hispanics or any underprivileged group and trade March Madness in for, say, opportunity in America. It's nice to see little old St. Peter's unexpectedly knock off powerhouse Kentucky in a first-round overtime game on St. Patrick's Day. But let that be a group of black kids from inner city high, defying odds and beating the kids at privileged prep high and are granted admission into big state. Well then, screw the underdog. Screw this tournament. It just means that this country has gone to shit. That suddenly opportunity is something that is wrong with America. You even see it in geopolitical politics. I do not belittle the import of the potentially nuclear crisis burgeoning in Ukraine. I've had that story on since the beginning of the war on this show. But it breaks my heart and it frightens me on a level I hadn't experienced on a global scale since I was only a kid during the twilight of the Cold War. But let's be clear. Ukraine are the underdogs against Russia. And this is a European conflict. The increased interest in those war-torn straits in the singular military conflict in Europe only underscores the fact that, say, in Africa, that's the black continent for those scoring at home, Africa currently has a whopping 25 militarized conflicts ongoing right now for at least a decade. 25 to 1. Nary a vigil has been held for these black-faced tragedies. But back to the tournament. Amazing how once small schools like the Butler Bulldogs or, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, or even Duke University, which was a small school until they found success with Coach K, can build and grow and develop and prove their worthiness to be in this diverse field of favorites. And as years pass by, they are now known as players to be reckoned with and respected in the college basketball world. I wonder, will some other less fortunate groups in America receive a rooting interest for their black-faced successes? This concludes Shawn Says. This concludes the Shawn Show. And I usually have music here, but I ain't got it set up. But that is it. That's our cut point. And we're in Shawn Overtime for all those who want to join in. Thank you very much. Ty, why you always like that when I give?
Because I never. So there's a few things that go through my brain whenever you do the Shawn Says, right? Like, the first thing is, I don't know what the hell this dude about to say, right? That'd be the first thing. The second thing, I'd be like, damn, Shawn is really talented, and Shawn really does have a passion for all this. Those are two things that go through my mind. And then I wonder how long it took you to put that together.
12 minutes.
Yeah, I can imagine. I didn't think it took you long. Probably on your brain all week anyway.
I wrote it 12 minutes before the show started.
Oh, shit. Okay then. See?
Thought I was looking for your book, Broke Brothers Revolution. Is that what it's called? Broke Brothers Revolution?
No longer, Toya, because I edited it, scrubbed it, and
Just broke.
backed it, flipped it, rubbed it down. Oh no!
I need it. I need that. You want to donate one for a raffle prize for Thursday?
Sure, Toya.
Thank you,
You
friend.
miser on camera, fucking communications expert. You.
Text me. Let me know where to pick that up tomorrow, or you can bring it with you on Thursday.
I can bring it with me on Thursday. Yeah, there it is.
Now you really got to come. You got to show up on time.
Yeah.
So have y'all seen the overtime before? Tisia and Toya?
The what?
The overtime of the Shawn Show?
No, I haven't.
It's totally different. So
it's a free for all. So the Shawn
you need a drink.
Do I need to go pour me a drink? I've been drinking water. I was like,
yes.
let me not get too turned while we talking.
You pour water when you talking spades anyway. The first hour I had coffee because I had a long day. I needed some zip. I'm on Bushmills now.
Yeah, like
I'm professional.
Feel like the audience is just really waiting for the overtime.
Yeah. The audience is like, all right, Shawn, do your bullshit. What's overtime? but you know what, Todd, was funny? Like even adding episode 0, which was just a drunken fest of 3-hour ridiculously.
It was good though.
It was good. Like these shows have actually become shows, you know. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, Todd. Tisia, what's up, babe? I know you like your beauty rest. You like, look, if y'all gonna be out late,
what time do I go to sleep?
She's like the clock.
Yo, I be feeling
the clock
so
is in
bad
overtime with my presence.
when to see you be in the gym early in the morning. I be feeling so bad.
I did at 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. 10 p.m.
Yeah, we got
so we have to see it for 10 p.m. We have 15 minutes. This is Shawn Overtime.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Shawn Overtime.
I mean, Shawn, so what? Do you take your shirt off or what's happening here?
Right.
Like what's going on in overtime? You still got your tie on? I don't know. What's getting ready to happen here?
Well, we had a sex education talk 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And then it got
Todd bought everything that woman had to sell too.
Did you guys talk about the rose?
Ooh.
I did. They didn't know about the rose. I educated them.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. Tisia, what's that face? You don't know about the rose? What?
Well, because I
don't
know if I'm in the cool kids club or not.
I was told
no.
You got the rose. I was told if you got the rose, you may never need a man again.
Oh, I know what y'all talking about. It got it's when all kind of stuff. I know what y'all talking
about. Yeah, you see the synapses in her brain when she's like, oh, I know what y'all talking about. You got the,
yeah.
Men like the rose too, though. Men like the rose.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from my friends. That's what they tell me.
Hey, let's work.
Well, okay. So what else?
All right. So we got to see it for 15 minutes. We got Toya until she finishes her drink. Have you made?
I didn't even pour a drink yet. I'm drinking water.
Well, pour you a drink.
I had my drinks earlier. You know, it's Taco Tuesday, so I was out and I said, "Oh, let me have just 2 drinks." So I have one more in me.
Offer Taco Tuesday and have to turn it down, so just so y'all know.
Every week, Taco Tuesday. Let me tell you guys, my favorite spot right now for Taco Tuesday is Paraso. on 11th and Pennsylvania Avenue Southeast. So good.
Awesome.
Yes, if you know Capitol Hill, then you know Frager's Hardware Store. It's at the other end of the block. It used to be the Kelly Moore Paint Store. Now it's a delicious Mexican restaurant, very authentic. Radishes on the carne asada taco.
Cilantro, onion.
Cilantro, yes. And radish. You know it's authentic when they put the radish on there.
Now, as a Cali girl, and do you feel Compton representing, right?
I grew up in Linwood, which is right next to
Linwood, right next to Compton. Do you feel like you are more of a connoisseur of fine tacos and street tacos than some of these other suckers east of the Mississippi, Toya?
I would say so.
Hold on. So you know, I is like in migrations of Mexicans. You can get Mexican food on every corner in Chicago. So I grew up waiting on the corn man to ding that bell. You go get you the mango with the chile pepper on it, the peppers, the pork rind, the elote up. Like, don't Chicago.
Listen, no shade on Chicago. I've had some really great Mexican food in Chicago and actually in Michigan as well. Like, delicious. And all the Black people I know from Michigan are also fluent in Spanish. I don't know what they're doing in Michigan, but it's working, okay? And they have good donuts. Listen, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on in the Midwest, but I'll give y'all your props for good Mexican food.
White jobs. That's what they're doing. They're taking white jobs. Didn't you hear the Shawn Says? They're taking white jobs.
Listen, Spanish people are behind the wall in every restaurant across America. No matter the cuisine, they're back there cooking it.
It's so funny. Like, you go to the Asian restaurant.
They're cooking it.
The homies are there, right? They getting down, too. Knocking it out. So
They are.
100%.
Well, to see, we got 12 minutes with you, so let's talk some Ready to Love stuff while you're here.
Down.
Did it take you a moment from the immediate scrutiny of Ready to Love to recalibrate? Because we've talked about, Ty and I talked about, like, the mental, like, people don't understand, there's like the scrutiny, even though you volunteer to do this thing, is it's something that you didn't expect or you wouldn't expect on the show, being recognized and all that stuff. Can you talk about your experience post RTL?
I think for me, it was more just either had to wait or not. So I feel like it was just heightened visibility. I was gonna hop on the bus or not, you know. And so I hopped on the bus, like behind the scenes, I breathed and like rested, you know, a little break from y'all. But I caught the wave going. So that was mine.
Would you do another reality show?
Yeah.
Not about dating. Like, it was about like entrepreneurs. You know how they got like ladies who live or something like that. I was interested in something like that, but not about love. Not about finding.
They've been doing real world reunions, and if they were to bring back the Real World, I remember the Real World, like, when it first came out, just people living together or people hanging together. I'm cool with that. It doesn't have to be themed towards dating or anything like that. But I don't know about the dating piece, because that's a weird kind of pressure. And, you know, it's sort of like someone saying, well, here's some candles and here's some food. Now have sex. Oh, wait, what?
What's that? Like, back?
You know, warm it up.
It's something that we're back. Y'all hear that?
Yeah, I think it's you.
It's me.
It's either reverb or a tizzy, because you have been popping in and out. We still love you, though.
I don't know what that's about, but I'm like hearing something back.
Someone may have a speaker on and not a headset.
Yeah, I took off my headset, so I don't have a speaker. I took off my headset and my mic, so I don't have that. Which usually isn't an issue. Toya, as a non-Ready to Love person, do you have any other questions? Did you watch the show, Toya?
I didn't.
You know what? Good for you.
I didn't. I couldn't get into it. Our mutual friend had me watch one episode, and I had like nightmares after that. It freaked me out. I was like,
you had nightmares?
What
yeah,
episode
I had
was
nightmares that whole night after that. It was just like I had a nightmare that we were like in the show. It was a wild, like, harem of women around the guy. It was weird. It messed my head up. So no, I did not watch it, but I heard lots of things because I have friends that watch it that I know you, and so yeah, they told me about it, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah. We Black famous now, Toya.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, Black famous,
Congrats.
but people recognize you, but you don't have no money.
I love to see it.
But you were giving you money to share for it.
It's coming. It's coming.
I'm not worried about that. I gotta make my own money.
You were Black famous before Ready to Love, though. I'm like, oh my God, it's Shawn. Every time I see you on the TV, I'm like, yes, go Shawn.
Yeah, I got a new set of commercials coming that just came out this afternoon.
You're not on the corner no more.
I'm not on the corner yet. So this is a true story. So I was working a sports bar on the corner, giving away water. It was a marketing thing. I used to be a flyer guy, and the guy who owns the sports bar, he's like, "You want to kick this up a notch?" And I gave him the idea. I said, "Well, let's give away water. Can you get bottles of water?" We gave away bottles of water during the spring and summertime. Filled his place up to the brim. I used to make a couple of $100 a day doing that. Because I quit my job, but I needed to be nimble. It wasn't a job. I quit my career. But for me to do what I was trying to do, I needed the nimble ability. And my workplace was not trying to give me that. And so I just quit cold turkey, quit that security. And before I knew it, I was handing out flyers, and people were like, "Man, this deadbeat such and such." I'm like, I pull in more money than you just took home, and it's cash. And then I would go do a gig and do a commercial on top of it. I was pulling in, at one point, thousands a week just from that hustle. And that hustle kept me afloat after my surgery for my hands, because I had a bus accident 20 years ago, and I lost use of my left hand. And that kept me going for a long time. And I'm still grateful for that. I haven't talked to Mike in a while, the owner of that bar, but that bar's still going. I'm still going. And what other people see from you, like how you're doing. They just think, "Oh, I would never do that." As they walk past you and go to their job that they fucking hate, while you make as much money as they do in 3 hours, that they put in 10 hours and sweat over and worry about other things. So I was just blessed to do that. And I still walk in that. A lot of my experience with the show was like, you guys have no idea what I've done and what I am doing, but that's okay. So it is what it is.
And look good doing it too, might I add. Out there, always suited and booted. I was that's a good suit on the day. Look just like that. Absolutely.
I would dress like this in a vest, shirt, and tie like a fucking immigrant. And you know what? I'm cool with it. Immigrants come and they overdo it, right? But boy, do they keep going. So I just said I'm going to have an immigrant attitude. I'm going to have Joe and Julia, my mom and dad's attitude. And, I got 12. Now it's 12, Ty, because that series came up. 12 commercials in rotation. And an HBO miniseries that I'm going to be on coming up. So I'll take that. Anyway, we got to see it here.
Light work, right? Light work.
Just like, I love to see it, Shawn. I love to see it. I think you guys are dope. To see we'll be watching and waiting for your brand to come out. Shawn didn't mention this, but I do a lot to support Black-owned businesses and Carmichael Community Connections. That's really the heart of what we do. Helping businesses get new customers and get your products out there. So we'll be waiting for that.
You have a listserv, right? That goes out, email. You have an email list and all that stuff?
Yeah, I have an email list. I do a Black business pop-up in the summertime with live music, free drinks, and actually staffing vendors for a university conference coming up in 2 weeks. So whatever people need me to do to help my people make money and get money, I'm down for it. So definitely be watching and waiting for you.
Do you still have political aspirations, Toya?
I don't, but my neighbors have them for me. I was just sitting here with a DC council candidate, and I was like, girl, I got to go. I got to throw my t-shirt on, put my makeup on, take these petitions and get out of here. So definitely supporting lots of people running for office in the district. I still have Councilmember Henderson signed in my front yard, and she's representing us well in the council. So, I'm watching my people and supporting them any way I can, and they're glowing up, doing it.
Tisia, what's next for you with your endeavors beyond? I mean, you work for yourself, so are you finding a struggle to balance your actual business, your true paycheck business with your endeavors, or have you found a sweet spot where your endeavors are monetized as well? Because you're getting stuff sent to you, that means you can get a check sent to you.
I know, but I don't know if I'm coming or going these days. I am so overwhelmed. But with my tech startup, I'm looking to have a pilot running by the end of the year. So that's my goal. So I'm currently like raising capital, and I'll be, pitching to some investors and doing all of that stuff. But I'm hoping to have a pilot running with, I'll probably start with the Virginia Government Licensing Office to run a pilot by the end of the year. So that is my goal.
I got a question for you before Ty gets in, because we're gonna probably stretch you to 10:02. Ready to Love DMV, of the cast that you know of, that you're familiar with, is there anyone on that cast that you wish that was on our season that you could have had a chance to?
I think he's with someone, so I'm gonna be respectful. I think he actually is with someone now, so I'm not gonna go there. But baby, if it don't work out,
Yes, shoot your shot.
I think he's with someone, so no, I'm not gonna say that. But child,
I think I know who this
he's
is.
fine and he know it.
My daddy said you either married or you single, so.
Studio audience button.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
think
what
he's
Fred
in a
said.
relationship.
You said that's what Fred said?
Not my words. Fred said that.
Ty, what you got before Tisia get out of here? Because her eyes are getting sleepy.
Nothing. We all love to see it. It's always good to see it.
It's always good to see.
She know that.
I said that and they cut that shit out. I said that on
Say that again?
camera. It's good to see Tisia, and they just cut it.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all
heard that part, right?
You ain't been outside. Talking about you doing some speaking engagement.
No, I've been chilling lately,
I got a couple of events, so one or two. So either we celebrate my 15 years here in DC. That's like the eyes and April. We're gonna drink. We're gonna do something. 15 years of my time in DC, but also we got speed dating. My speed dating event. We pushed that back. It's at Kitchen Cray. Thank you, Tisia, for that. Kitchen Cray, Virginia. Tisia helped me with that. But although they were messing around with our dates, like, what are you doing? Oh yeah, so the chef got honored by the city. So can you do this? No, we can't. But we got a date. We got it nailed down. It's April the 2nd. April the 9th. No, April the 9th. So
okay, good.
So we got to do that. So how you gonna do speed dating, right?
I tell you, I want to look at the people first. I want to look at them. I need to read
Yeah,
the
Shawn, you don't
first.
post enough pictures of speed dating. I can't get a real idea of who's in the room, what they look like.
I need to know what's
well, those are not my speed dating events. So those are another organization that hires me to do those speed dating events.
Okay.
And I don't have the clearances to just take pictures.
Got it.
Of people, except for the few people who do like get in my face and say, okay, we'll do it. Yeah.
So who's your target audience for the night?
It's called a soul date. So what you think?
Where you advertising now?
That's a black ass. No, advertising start. We just got that date nailed down. So
okay.
In 2 weeks of the event, we cracked advertising, but it'll fill up quickly. We expect it to fill up quickly.
Okay, somebody said Ty, question mark. I wonder, are they asking you, are you going to be at speed dating?
Oh, because
they
Monique
said Ty must be in a relationship now. That was a question above that.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That's what she said. She said Ty must be in a relationship since he ain't outside. Question mark.
That's because Monique DuPont be on it, boy. She's like Kathy Bates from Misery. She's like, so yeah, Ty, you gonna? She be gritting her teeth when she be typing them letters out. What's up, Monique? I love you.
Yeah, what's up, Monique? Thanks for the support, Monique.
Look at Ty.
No comment.
Holding his face, rocking his new quasi beard.
Ty said, "I'm just
man,
don't get fined."
I think I might have answered. I answered that question like every time I'm on. I mean, I do have someone We chilling.
He thinking about what Fred said though. He's like, well, I have someone, but
yeah, but ergo vis-a-vis.
Yeah, we chilling.
Toya, do you have a significant right now?
No, I don't. I'm dating.
Springtime. It's DC. Springtime in DC.
Listen, I love the spring and the fall. Favorite seasons.
Tisia, know we talked about this.
What?
At Kitchen Cray, I told you.
I know that. I knew that.
Oh.
But I was just making fun of you because Monique was all in your business. I knew that, but yeah.
Tisia, what's been going on with you on the dating circuit? You know,
I am having the time of my life. I'm just happy. I'm blessed. I am just great. So yes, I'm having a good time.
Yeah. How was that trip? How was that trip to Ghana?
Amazing. I'm literally having the time of my life.
I was cheering for you every single day.
I am having a great time.
They be stamping them passports, Ty. Like her, Walt is over in
Ghana, yeah.
Place with no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a crew going to Houston this weekend too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We when it comes to like, for me, when it comes to Ready to Love and all that stuff, I am slightly annoyed that people stop me and then go through the whole car wash of questions. But you know, I think that's gonna fade once they move to South Beach, or where's the next one going? You know, what do you guys think?
They don't stop me no more, Shawn.
They don't stop you no more?
Nope.
I get stopped everywhere.
About the game, I guess.
Tisia says she gets stopped everywhere.
A lot of places.
But she also
not even
good.
Local
that
to
stops
DC.
People too.
But no, a young lady stopped me in a park at 14th, and she's like, "I smell good because of you." And oh my God, those are my favorite meet and greets.
Well, you know,
I'm lying.
Somebody asked, what kind of questions do people ask you, Shawn? I wondered the same.
Miss Lady Zip, she
do you got a
started
job?
trouble. I think Miss Lady Zip is
just
getting warmed up right now. That's like a warm up.
Before you answer that, Shawn, I'm gonna politely make my exit on yawning over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Shout out to my boy Adrian. Hey.
Toya, it's very nice to meet you.
Good to see you, Tisia.
To support your endeavor.
Tisia, give whatever plugs you like to give before you drop out of here, please.
Yes, follow my personal Instagram at Tisia XDS, TISIA XDS, and my business page is Get Clear with the E, so GETCLEARE. And my newest baby is Bitch You Smell Good, spelled exactly how I said it. And stay updated for everything sense, beauty, and how to keep them saying, Bitch You Smell Good.
Great to meet you.
So nice.
Come out on Thursday if you can. Whip Shawn's ass.
Yeah,
I'll make sure y'all play it in person.
Make a donation to see you. Don't want to make that trip. But yeah, I will be there. But thank you, Tisia, for coming.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Shawn. I'll talk to you all soon.
Till next time. Tisia Saffold.
Good night.
Good night.
Avita Zane.
Okay, Heidi Klum. I'm talking about you, Shawn.
What?
Project Runway, your little German goodbye.
Was that what it is? Let's see. I don't watch. TV
yes, Heidi Klum made that. She coined that phrase.
What, Avita Zane? Well, Avita Zane was coined more famously by Sound of Music.
Well, they didn't say it every week on television like Heidi Klum did for years and years and years and years.
But she's German, right? She's German, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Heidi's Klums.
Sill's ex-wife.
Sill's ex-wife. Yeah.
Yes.
So if I have more indentures right here, it look like Sill.
I can see that.
Yeah, but my gap is closed up more instead of his. It's like stretching out.
You can fix that. You should be sealed for Halloween.
No, like first of all, seal is a dated reference. You know the kids won't get sealed.
Your ass is old. You ain't gonna be at a party with the kids.
What about
who wants to be sealed? Yeah, but who wants to be
what
sealed?
about
Go to the grown
what
folks
about
party.
Candyman? Shawn, grow some hair and be Candyman.
Or get some acne and be new Candyman.
Be the old Candyman. The
You know what?
original
After
Candyman.
his acne, though, that brother is fine. He is beautiful,
yeah.
but the skin
Like,
texture, yeah.
It's so funny. Like these jokers get away with having some bad acne because they on camera.
You think he's a bad actor?
Acne.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's a good
acne.
actor,
Oh,
but
okay.
boy,
I don't think it's even acne. It's just his skin, the texture. I don't know what's going on, but
he's like the dark-skinned son of Edward James Olmos and Lawrence Fishburne.
ooh, I love Lawrence Fishburne. Anywho, so what else is going on? I mean, it's 10:07.
We talk until somebody probably interrupts us, and so it's actually early.
Yeah,
So
that one.
what's that, Ty?
Go ahead. We usually almost let the crowd kind of dictate the convo a lot.
In fact, this is where
the troublemakers.
Ty, take the comm because I got to find a block to charge up. Take the comm, Ty.
All right. I don't know if y'all know, but I started getting back into my little tech field, I guess. This weekend there's a really big conference called ShmooCon. So a lot of the tech nerds are going to be out there. It's probably one of the times I get to be back in the space where I'm comfortable. So you probably see a lot of that coming from me this weekend. Also this weekend, I'm actually piggybacking off of an episode that I did with my sister last weekend. So I've been doing this series of my mental health journeys, talking about different topics. I had myself on for the first one. I had my sister on last week, giving her perspective from a 911 dispatcher who's been a dispatcher for 20 plus years. The week before that, I had some of the fellas from DC, Ready to Love Potomac on. I've actually had my brother on. I had my best friend on. But this week, this Saturday is just going to be me talking about coping with anxiety, PTSD, and I talk about all the things that I did to acknowledge it and to get past it. So just that. Plus on the business side, it's been crazy. It's been a really good year for the business. I'm into cybersecurity. I actually hack into networks for a living, teach people how to do it, organize a meetup group, the largest cybersecurity meetup group in the country. So it keeps me really, really busy, but I rarely talk about it on the lives or anything. So it's actually between the meetup group and the company, that's actually 2 jobs right there. I have a job, and then I started doing the YouTube thing. So it's almost like 4 or 5.
He's more popular than me, Toya.
Multiple streams. So where is the tech conference?
It's going to be in DC.
Okay, and where are the parties at? Do tech people have parties when they conference, or is it all business?
Oh, so they have what's called LobbyCon.
Okay.
Where the people who can't get a ticket, it's normally at a hotel, and everyone will just be at the bar at the hotel because we don't have a ticket. So I think if I look it up, ShmooCon is definitely in DC, the 24th through the 26th. You want to see a bunch of tech nerds.
I love a smart guy.
All right.
Listen to Shawn. Listen, I'm asking for the ladies. The ladies want to know.
The Hilton on Connecticut Avenue all weekend.
Thank you so much, Uniquely Sherry. Please share the info. Shout out to all the AMEers in here.
Let me tell you something. Sherry will support you to the ends of the earth. That's a fantastic woman.
Thank you, Sherry. Much appreciated.
She likes a smart guy, and she also likes Ty.
What?
I don't know Ty, but I definitely do love an intelligent brother. So, let us know.
How tall are you? Are you 5'11"?
5'11".
Yep.
Like DJ Quick, 6 feet with shoes. Y'all don't know nothing about DJ Quick.
I know
You don't
about DJ Quick.
Quick.
It's just like Compton. Ooh, it's just like Compton.
You saw I added that tonight on my in my story for the live. You like that, huh? You were like,
that's tight. I like that.
I need to get Toya to start promoting my show every week. That was fresh.
We might have a few changes coming back, but yeah, I mean it's been a fun like week and a half. I mean not week and a half, month and a half, 2 months. So next month I will tell you. So I had a guy who there was something that was put on Amazon during the early parts of the shutdown called the World Series of Spades.
Okay.
Which is a take on the World Series of Poker. He's a pretty well-to-do comedian out in LA, but he put together this Spades tournament, and they had episodes, and they broke down everything on a comedic level. And I think they improv some bits, but the Spades playing was actually legit. He's coming on next week. He couldn't make it this week. And we did a joke show about a month ago. You remember that show? Of course you remember that show, Ty.
Yeah.
We only had like 7 shows. But that was a funny show where we just brought all these comedians on. And so I'm rounding up a panel of comic folks, and we're going to talk some ish for about 2 hours and then close out this volume. And I'm personally taking like a 2-week break from doing this and focus on some stuff and do some writing.
Okay. What are you writing? What are you working on?
Well, I got some people reading my White City Blues play. So I want to work pushing on that, and I may have some sponsors to that, and I'll tell you what White City Blues is about in a second. But I'm also working on a story called The Princess and the Pauper. The title is a take on the Mark Twain story, but it's quasi autobiographical about a man who feels like he's at the twilight of making something really happen. Late 40s or whatever. I'm 45, I'm mid 40s, but late 40s, and he doesn't know if he should engage with certain persons in his life and trying to figure that out. So coming of age at the end of the age type of story. So.
I dated a hobosexual one time. That was interesting. Have you heard that?
Well, now why you say that after I said that though? Like, I didn't know homosexual shit, Toya.
Hobo.
Hey, you know what? That reminds me of a homosexual I dated one time.
Hobo, not homo. Hobo.
I know
like...
homosexual. But you don't know because you didn't watch the show. There was a whole thing about Shawn doesn't work. They were making a whole thing about that. So, that was hilarious.
Shawn make sure to talk about it every
time.
Feeling your feelings, right?
It's like
every show, yeah.
Not every show.
Yeah, just about.
Not every show, but I make sure, that's a pride wounding thing. Like, who do you think you're talking to?
Like, don't they know you live in the District of Columbia? It's expensive. You gotta have some kind of job.
Don't they know he got 12 commercials
in the heart?
On
that's
rotation
right. I got 12 commercials.
Right
it's not
now?
7 anymore. It's got 12 commercials.
Listen.
I'm on HBO, bitches. I had a Super Bowl commercial seen by 150 million people.
Listen, Shawn, they say you can only pay a bill or 2. Listen, we'll send a bill.
Yo.
Yeah. I told them the bill will be Netflix or Hulu. I don't know. Shit.
Hulu. Oh, no, Netflix. Netflix is going up. They just raised the rates. Let me send you my Netflix bill.
Well, Netflix has to go up because all the stuff that made them popular, they have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
The licensing has gone up. And so Netflix is like, well, we'll just find this cheap-ass show, and those cheap-ass shows aren't as compelling.
Just go over somebody else's house and Netflix and chill. That's what my homegirl does. She retired. She has the key to my house. She just comes over and watches TV during the day when I'm at work. She just comes over, binge watches.
Who's this?
A friend of mine, homegirl of mine.
So she hoarded Netflix?
She comes over to my house to watch my TV, my cable, I think she might have Netflix, but she comes to watch my cable, HBO
She know
Max,
how to watch it at home.
all the channels. She doesn't have it at home.
I think she just want to be around it.
She doesn't have it at home.
There's an app for that.
It's cool because when I need her to come by and see something, watch the house, check on the garden, she got me. So
now Toya, we didn't get into this. You have a grown man as a son, right?
I do.
How is he?
He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing good. He's 17, 6'4".
What are his aspirations?
He wants to be a longshoreman now.
A longshoreman. That's a specific ass aspiration. Now, how did he get that into his thought process?
I have no idea. He lives in Oakland, and it's a port city. They have a bay, lots of ships and boats. So I guess he met somebody and decided that's what he wants to do.
Frederick Douglass did the same thing, but he only met somebody so she could like get him to the north and give him freedom, and then he treated her like shit.
Listen.
Going back to what I was talking about, what I wrote. Yeah, I wrote a story about Frederick Douglass in the latter part of his life, and his relationship with Ida B. Wells, where they had a falling out 2 years before he died, and it's called White City Blues, based off of the time that Frederick Douglass was the commissioner of the Haitian Pavilion at the World's Fair, and all the black leaders in 1893 at the Columbia's, what do they call it, the World's Columbian Exposition, where all the black leaders are like, we're going to protest all these crackers leaving us out. And Ida B. Wells is like, yeah, we're going to do that, right, Fred? Because she was sort of like a protege of his.
And Fred was like, no, because they paying me.
Yeah, Fred was like, yeah. He played two sides of it, and it goes back and forth into his life, but really gives a lot of information on Ida B. Wells' life. I would write a whole TV series about that woman's adventures, being undercover, posing as certain black people's wives so she can get the information as to what happened in these lynchings. And her husband was a thoroughly modern man. He's like, baby, he was a widower. He was an older dude, but he's like, baby, whatever you want to do, fuck what those guys want to say. And the other thing about Ida B. Wells, she was a sex symbol. And you had other black civil rights woke, what they call them, race men, trying to say that they bagged her.
Listen.
So I throw all that stuff into the story.
I definitely want to read that. I was just telling my colleague the other day, we were just talking about service and taking care of yourself. Ty, you were talking about your mental health. And I'm like, listen, I'm a community servant and an activist, but I had to learn to not give myself away for free all the time, right? I think about Harriet Tubman, all the work she did. She died indigent. She was poor.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass wasn't poor, right? He was getting paid. He figured out a way to monetize himself and get paid for his labor. He's also a man, right? So
yeah. Fred always kept his money. Now,
these gender politics are interesting, even in the black community, and it still plays out now. So,
did you know that Fred left his kids out of the will?
I did not.
Yeah. He gave it all to his second wife, his white wife, who was very nice and courteous because she didn't have to do shit. But she split up everything. She's like, we'll just sell everything, and I split it up amongst your kids because it's the only right thing. But Fred, a man who wrote about himself and knew everything every 3 hours, left his kids out of the will.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm not shocked. I just had a brother who's running for office call me and say, I'm in your neighborhood. Can you sign my petition? Same person who ran against me and challenged my petitions in that race that he signed. Okay, I was like, what? If you don't get off my damn phone. Listen. Black men, man. Men, period.
Oh, she said men, period. Why do you just stop there?
Every shot you don't take is a shot you miss.
I don't want to just throw dirt on black men. It's all men.
That's you being fair. That's totally being fair. It's all men. Fuck it.
All men, but I love you anyway. Gotta have men. Can't just rely on the rose. It doesn't work. Whoever told you that.
Okay, so you got you have a young man. So how does that work as far as like your expectations of him and giving him the balance, the masculine energy and the balance and all that stuff? I don't know what your relationship is with his father. Yeah. But could you talk about being a single mother with all the stuff that you do, that you've spoken to already? Can you talk to that?
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why my son is in Oakland, because I never, no matter what he will say as an adult about his mother, his father, we all have things that we could say about our parents and criticism, but I never wanted his story to be that his mother kept him away from his father, right? His father lives in California. We lived here in DC. And so I made sure, even against my own desires, right, that he went to California regularly and then moved to California to give his father an opportunity to actively parent him on a daily basis the way that I did. here. Now, I was a much better parent, but you know, kids, it takes them some time to realize that. And I
They have
think
to
that
see it for themselves.
they have to see for themselves. And what I saw was that, you know, my son really wanted to be with his father. There were things that his father could teach him that I could not. And we had some growing pains. We had a lot of separation, a lot of anxiety and conflict there, with him just feeling like, well, I'm over here with my dad, so I don't have to listen to you anymore. And, you know, I want to do these things that my dad has laid out for me, even if it wasn't the best decision for my son. He's going to go with his dad because that's who he's with. And I feel like people always want the approval and the love and attention of the person they're not getting it from.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to cry about it, pray about it, and let him have those growing pains. You know, as he got older, he started to buck against me a lot, you know, and I'm like, listen, kid, I don't care if you're 6'4", 7 feet, I'll still bust and fly to California right now if I need to, you know. But I'm like, no matter how you feel and what you're going through, I'm your mom. You only get one. And you've been with me. You know how I've grinded. Everything that I've done has been for you. So I just need to make sure that whoever you choose to be, you grow into a man that can manage these things and carry on this legacy. And if you don't want that and you don't want me to be your parent anymore, let me know so I can change my will. Oh, he snapped out of it real quick. I'm like, you know your mama. I could leave you this money, or I could go ahead and catch this next flight and be out of the country next week. So which one are we doing? He's like, I'm sorry, Mom. You know, he knows me. I do not, I don't mix words with my son. I've always talked to him like a real person. Even when he's a child, I'm like, you have a brain, you know how to think. I'm going to talk to you appropriately for your age, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You know, this is life. You've lived it with me and you see how hard I work. So I expect that from you, regardless of, you know, whether you're ready to perform or not. I'm never going to lower my expectations for my son. I know what he's capable of. So he'll get there and he's on his way.
You know, they say, you know, they say the boys always come back.
Always.
Yeah, they always come back.
Always, you know, and I've had so many moms, you know, whether they were married, divorced, they always tell me, don't worry about it. You're a great mom. We know that you've given him everything that he needs, and he knows that. And so we're good. We're good. Our relationship is tight. I can't wait to see him next week in LA, and he's on the right path now. So.
Now, Ty, you're a single dad. Any of Toya's concerns or things hit you a certain type of way when you hear her talk about those things?
Yeah, I mean, I have a 26-year-old nephew now, and my sister was a single parent on like his entire life. So, you know, seeing all that, it literally sounds like deja vu. You know what I mean? They go through this period where sometimes they just don't know what to do, don't know what to think. And, you know, sometimes they just have to remember that, like, you've never been a 17-year-old boy, right? So eventually you got to just let them do it. And I know it's not easy to let them go, but they say, like, letting them go is like the last stage of love for the kid, right? And there's some people that say, like, you actually have to let them go in order for them to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So although it may not be easy, it's just one of those things that you have to do in life. And I mentioned that they always come back in the end. They do. They end up appreciating the hell out of you, especially when you're not there anymore and they get to see all the little things that you were doing for them. And they're like, shit, like, I got to get toilet paper and toothpaste and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, trust me. When he got his first summer job here in D.C., I think he was like 14. And he got mad at me because I was like, you got a job now. What you got on this cable bill? He's like, what? Why I got to pay the cable bill? I'm like, well, why not? You got a job. You grown, right? You just told me yesterday I can't tell you nothing. You grown. So grown people work and they pay bills. Like, what's the problem here? You know? So he's getting it. he's working, and you know, he's not on here. He's not on this live, but I monitor his activity through his bank account. That I set up, right? I'm on here so I can see, like, if I need to pull up on you in Oakland, I know where to find you because I know where you shop. I know where you buy food. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I will find you.
Do you feel like you was an overprotective mom?
Oh no.
Like, where you going? Who you gonna be with? How long you gonna be there?
That doesn't feel like Toya.
No,
Toya.
I mean, I didn't have to be that way because I kind of created his friendships and the friends he made at school. I made it a point to create good relationships with their parents. So I never really worried about that. You know, he moved to California when he was 13. And so when he would be here, I knew the people that he was with, the children, their parents. And so I was really comfortable with him having his freedom. You know, I like an independent person and I love an independent man. So I wanted my son to know that you're free to make your choices and make good choices and live your life. Just don't call me if you get arrested, because if you did it, don't call me. No. But no, seriously, my parents gave me a lot of freedom and I think I turned out all right. So I want him to be able to live on his own and take care of himself and his family with my support and love. So I don't think I'm overprotective at all.
Toya, you're a Cali girl, and you're quick to mention that all the time because Cali girls and Cali world, blah, 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 blah.
Because we're the best.
Not the Lakers this year.
You know, that's okay. We'll be back. We'll be back on top, baby. It's a legacy, you know.
Did you go to the game?
We go up and down. I did not, because honestly, Shawn, I've never seen the Lakers win here, nor Golden State. Every time
they don't win.
Every time I go to the Golden State or the Laker game in DC, DC always wins. And so I was like,
what they say, cities like DC, Atlanta, Miami, those teams that are on those road trips, they get the flu because there's too much to do in places like this. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, like, do you wish to go back to California, or are you DC straight up?
You know, I love Cali and DC equally for different reasons. I think when I'm ready to just kind of chill out and I find me that good, smart man and we can go buy our $1 million house by the water, I'm going back to Cali. But no, somebody pays me enough, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I like the relaxed lifestyle of California. I have a more diverse friend group and atmosphere when I'm in California. And who doesn't want 73-degree weather all year long? Like, I want to go out and run. I know you like to run, but we can't run in the wintertime. We're not running in the snow.
Yeah, I bundle up and I'm on the bike, but even still, that's crazy because cold air in the lungs is stupid.
Yeah,
I'm not training to be in a outpost in Siberia.
I think overall wellness, my overall physical and mental health is much better when I'm in California than it is here.
Let me do my radio thing. You are half past the hour. We are here. This is the Shawn Show Overtime. Ty just joined us again. Ty and his newfound facial. And Toya from...
Ty and what? The newfound what?
Facial growth. Facial hair.
Oh.
He's a rocker, so he has an excuse to use the Body Butter Bakery Beard Butter, which is not available anymore because Kym said, I'm done for the season. She'll see you in the fall, but she had other products. And I took her site down, but you see behind me, bodybutterbakery.com. My sponsor, she has some great products. I use it all the time. My skin has been doing very well. And we're just going to keep rocking it. 30 past the hour, and we're here with Toya, who has a Spades tournament here in D.C. If you want to donate to it, just go to cccspadestourney.eventbrite if you cannot come to D.C. If you are in D.C., bring your sorry ass, get eliminated early, at least give her the money so she can put some kids, get some book money into some kids' hands, all right?
Absolutely, and there's a cash prize. The winning team will get double your money back, so...
Hey, how you going to give money when you're raising money, though?
Listen, because you have to get people in the building. I can't raise any money without putting some on the table. That's just, that's just how it is. And that's okay. That is okay. So you said something. You asked about Cali. You know what, Shawn? Honestly, though, now I want to move to Hawaii.
Now, where did Hawaii come from?
I love Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii twice now. I love it. It's like Cali times
Expensive
1,000.
and
It's the upgrade of Cali. I can't.
yeah.
I was just about to ask the army man who's going somewhere
How,
everywhere.
how how much does milk cost in Hawaii?
I don't
More
know.
than
I don't drink
gas?
milk.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
No,
wait a minute.
it's
That means
expensive.
what
Everything's
you drink
expensive
is
there.
more expensive than milk.
What's more expensive?
The substitute for milk.
I don't compare it because I don't know how much milk
Oh,
costs. So, but I could always go to
no, I was
Cali,
just saying
throw a
it's
bunch of
expensive.
almond milk in my suitcase, and then take it to Hawaii with me. So there's ways, Send me a care
That
package, Shawn.
that Kona coffee is like snorting the soil. That shit is so concentrated. The Hawaii coffee is interesting, but Hawaii. I had a friend, Dr. Matthews. Not Dr. I gave her old maiden name, Dr. Walker. Remember Barbara Ty? Barbara Walker, she used to live out
I
in
do.
Hawaii. She moved out there during the beginning of the pandemic because people in Virginia were cutting the fool. She's like, you know what? Fuck you people. So they moved out there for like a year or two, and now they're back at her residence in Virginia. But people have great things to say about Hawaii if you can hack it. But boy, everyone, even well-to-do people say expensive,
But
expensive,
listen,
expensive.
California is expensive. I grew up in California. I live in the District of Columbia. I've never lived in a place that others didn't think was expensive.
Tell them DC is high.
DC is high. It's not as high as California, but it's high, right? And I've been here
In
for
some
7.
places, although I'll say California is some places you can get some land. You may not want to be where you at in that zip code, but you can get some land in California for certain prices.
Hey, I grew up right next to the CPT. I live in Southeast now, so I'm open. I'm hooded. I'll be hood adjacent. Where's the hood in Hawaii? I'll live right there. Listen, I'm good with it.
I don't know if Hawaii has a hood. And
Everywhere
if they
has
had
a
a hood,
hood.
would you respect it?
Everywhere has a hood.
Bunch of
A bunch of what?
UFA.
Maybe it's
Uh,
my
I had a
phone because
lot
I
of
need to
Samoan
charge up. I'll be right back.
friends in
go
Korea.
ahead. Get your charger. Ty, this
No,
question for
I
you
mean,
just
I had
before
a
I
lot of
go.
Samoan friends.
Oh, you have a lot of Samoan friends? But that's
Yeah.
Samoan, though.
Did you see
Samoan
you saw my warrior beads, right?
Yeah, I did.
And
Samoans, as my older brother would say, because he played football, he was like, Samoans act like they're black anyway, so we
yeah,
vibe with them.
and a lava. There's actually a picture of me in my lava earlier in my profile on stage. Glenn Jackson Hair Awards. I mean, yeah,
Hey, Ty,
no
if
shirt
people,
on. Yeah.
I've seen some of your old pictures, and then like time stops. If people were to know you, say the year before Obama gave it over to Trump, so like 2015, 2016, and 10 years before that, who was Ty Wilson then?
Oh shit.
That's a Ty Wilson question. I gave you a Ty Wilson question. Toya, I've never given him a Ty Wilson question. He's over here rubbing his head and shit.
I just
You
want
know
to
what,
say
man?
shout out to Megatron Lowem. He said Honolulu Crips.
You know what, man?
They
I
got
actually
lays on their blue shirts. They got lays
been
on
in.
And he said,
Yeah.
Hawaii, Orange County is more expensive than the Bay Area. And listen, I moved to DC from Oakland, so were y'all talking about Samoan people when I left?
Yeah.
We mentioned Samoans, yes.
I love Samoans. My best friend's baby daddy is half Samoan. I grew up in Cali. We got Samoans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's what we're talking about. We were talking about Samoans. They at the cookout.
Listen, I just want to play volleyball every day. They play
Yeah,
volleyball every day in Hawaii. I'm just trying to go to the
gonna come
beach.
anyway.
Listen.
And who gonna stop them?
Listen,
no
they can
one.
do whatever they want.
They're a fucking offensive line.
Who gonna stop them?
Them jokers are like a Russian tank with the tires working, because Russian tanks don't work apparently in Ukraine. Ty, I asked you a question. You still thinking about that shit?
No. In all honesty, I was in like 3 very long relationships, like the last 15 years. So I ended up, I was actually pretty good.
After those 3 relationships, would you say you got into your second childhood? That's that phase of adulthood where it's like the world is reopened and you're different compared to just being tied down all the time?
No, it's probably a lot different now. It's a lot more selective now. And it's because I think the show actually made me better, if that makes sense. Because you spend that time figuring out what you want and what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And then now you just have a better idea of what you're looking for. And if it ain't that, then it makes it easier to walk away from it.
The show makes you introspective. That's a true thing. It forces you. The producers ask questions, and it's like, you know what? I do have to think about this, and it gives you a chance to have fresh eyes about your status and your station in life right now.
Yeah,
that's one thing I give the show credit for, because it's a show, and you have to have that.
Yeah, 25-year-old Ty would have used the popularity from the show to have a goddamn ball, right? But 45-year-old Ty, I just don't really have time to waste no more. You know? Shorty Ty with his shirt off, it's in my profile. It's a couple pictures, I think, in my profile.
I feel like come Memorial Day, there might be some new
you just have to go back
with your shirt off.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Shout out
We
to
used
JoJo
to,
Circus out of New York.
We had this circuit to where we would do these model calls here in DC. Was this 10, 12 years ago maybe? And all the fellas really had to do is look halfway decent with no shirt on and just walk up and down stage, right?
Would that be like in like those hotel ballrooms, and they have a model call on those, like a Friday or Saturday? They rent out a ballroom for a weekend.
So essentially, our model calls was just it was mainly for women's events, but they would also like to throw in, men here and there, so it's not so monotonous.
Mm-hmm.
So like every fourth or fifth walk, the fellas would walk. And once you get in there, then you become, one of the 7 fellas that's going to get picked for every show. And then that's just what we did for a summer or two. It was pretty fun.
Did you want to be a model, or was it some like?
No, I don't think I wanted to be
a flex
a model.
On toes moment.
Just easy money.
Flex on toes.
No, I mean, in all honesty, so there's a funny story. I actually gained some confidence through that because, so when we're in the back, the fellas are trying to figure out who's going to walk out with who. And we had a dude named Tank with us, and nobody wanted to walk out with Tank.
Of course.
And I was like,
Tank.
Fuck that. I'll walk out with him.
Who's Tank's boy?
Where's Tank now?
When you see us, so somebody even mentioned it. So there's a picture of me. It looks like it's me on stage showing off, but it's not. It's actually me walking on stage next to Tank, but he is cropped out of the picture. Mm. So I actually gained some confidence in myself that day. So that's actually one of the reasons why I posted it, so I don't forget that day. Yeah,
I feel like we should have
I do shit like that. I do shit like that. I think people think I feel like I'm a lot different than what people think. Now I ain't gonna lie. There's
come with it. Come on.
There's things that I can do, right? So with my analytical brain, I kind of have this superpower. I can figure things out very quickly. I've dated, you can call it hunting, for the longest. And I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but as a guy, there are nights where you are feeling lazy. You know what you can do, right? So we call it the 3-legged antelope, or finding the weak one. That is an easy thing once you're like 35, 40.
Why is it called 3-legged antelope, though? What is that?
All right, let's just say you're a lion on the prairie, 100% full strength. Are you going to try to hunt down an antelope at full strength and risk getting injured and hurt? and wasting all your energy, or out of the hundreds of thousands, you find somebody that's injured or
God. The Lion King is not Mutual of
or
Omaha.
the weak one, right? When you're out with your girls, and we talked about this, when you're out with your girls, you're gonna tell us which one of your girls is the weak one, and that's the one we target.
Ty, we have a girl.
He
And not
said
only we have a
something.
girl, she's a member of a prestigious sorority.
The
You want
best
to
one
say
in
who
the
that
world.
is?
And which one?
The best sorority in the land. You see what color I'm wearing.
No. Actually, his guys are true. Ty is colorblind.
Oh,
So he does
really?
not see what color you're wearing.
Okay, well,
I do,
I'm
though.
a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority
Yeah.
Incorporated.
All right. So that means you've had a lot of girl groups.
Mm-hmm.
I know you personally, so I know you have
Were
a
you
lot
here
of
for
girl
the?
groups.
Were you in the city for the centennial?
I was.
Whew.
You was out there
Them-
What a
hunting, huh?
what a time to be alive, baby.
well, Ty.
Let me tell
Ty,
you
I know
something.
you.
Oh
you're
my
with
gosh.
someone right now. Hold on, let
But
me
by
just
4
tell you
o'clock
this.
every afternoon, because I live in the neighborhood. Toya know where I live. I live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And after their conferences and shit, all you saw were curvy black women with their heels in their hand walking just like this. We so tired, girl, of walking, but it was just a sea of black women. And they freaknik DC because the driving was terrible, the parking was worse, and the fuck it was at a 10.
So
Yeah,
I
it
just
was
want to
like
say shout out to Shorty Diva Lisa Uwu, to my soror, and hey, so be it 2017. Shout out to the ladies, and for the fellas, the Deltas are taking over the DMV in September. Our Eastern Regional Conference is at National Harbor. So if you missed the Centennial,
Ty, remember when I had to spin up?
be here Labor Day weekend.
September.
I mean,
Labor
and
Day
DC
weekend,
was
National Harbor. But, in my opinion, there are no weak deltas. So I don't know what she's talking about, Ty, when it comes to that.
Wait a minute, you ain't got no girlfriends who aren't deltas? You don't hang out with no girls who aren't deltas? Or are they immediately the weak ones when Ty's talking about who you can prey on in the jury that is the chick group? Because y'all want to be moving like it's one and shit, and men have to fight. Men have to draw plays like Pat Riley and get like ISO plays. All right, so you take her, so I can talk to her right there, and you buy her a drink.
See, when you come into the deltas, you got to strategize, right? You better have your game plan tight. And if you think we're weak, we're not. We just choose to give in if that's what we want to do. Maybe we're using you.
The delta's weak, but we were just saying like the weak link of a group who
I
may be more. Yeah.
I just wanted to be clear.
No, we did not have a freak Nick. I'm from Georgia. I know about Freaknik, and I was the last of the Georgians who actually experienced Freaknik as we knew it. Freaknik, I was saying that the deltas clogged up the main arteries of DC traffic-wise, and it was like Freaknik in some degrees.
I said, or be a Q.
Let me tell you, it's so different. Okay. So I've been here when the AKs had their belay.
We love the bros.
The deltas are here. I've been here when the Qs are here. The Qs are so hilarious because it's like, this is literally what a Q said, bro. We brought all these hoes here, and we can stud them or not. They still gonna be there. So we gonna drink with our bros. We gonna bark, and we gonna do the damn thing. I found 2 bottles with the bag of Crown Royal at the Renaissance Hotel while the Qs were here. The Qs were fucking up hotels, restaurants, and they didn't care if the women showed up or not. They're like, we will get to them when we get to them. It was a different situation. The Boule was different because it's how the AKs do it, and the Deltas do their shit. It was how the Deltas do it. But when the Qs came, it's like, these motherfuckers are just bedlam.
Can I tell y'all something now? Can I tell you something? Honestly and seriously, I have never experienced anything but love and respect with the bros. They act a certain way when they're out in public, but they really do take care of the deltas. So
100%. Like 100%.
Seriously.
I think that's why women love them. I think women love the danger and the feel of toxic masculinity, but at the end of the day or night, I think there's comfort with those cats because they're fun, but at the end of the night, they also take care of you.
Yeah, they do.
At least the way that you want to be taken care of, you know. So I have respect for all of them. My brother's a Kappa, my sister's an AKA. I did neither because I just wasn't into someone telling me what to do. But you know, it's I have respect for the 10 that are known as a divine nine.
Yeah, I joined the military out of high school, but I'd have been a Q.
That
had I been frat.
military is its own frat, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As is HBCU. Neither one of us did
right.
HBCU, but I sometimes feel like
I know it's not too late. A lot of my fellas are alphas now. I just haven't, you know, made that move yet.
It's not too late.
I'm thinking about it. I know.
Not too late for you either, Shawn. And I did go to Howard, actually. That's why I have so
Yeah, that's true. That's right. I remember that's you, California.
Yeah, that's how I knew your neighbor and all our homegirls because we went to Howard together.
Where is she, real quick?
In Chicago.
She is because she went overseas.
Yeah.
And then she's back in Chicago.
Yep, back in Chicago.
She will respond to something I will post either on Facebook or here. And she's like, I'm glad someone said it. And the shit was a long post that goes through Bill Cosby shit. And you know, my Bill Cosby post ain't just cut and dried or clean, but I think it's a sensible person's thought that's outside of the 160 characters that the world wants you to think in. And she'll come from nowhere, 3:53 a.m. That's right, I'm glad you said it. Do you want to have a conversation? I will never hear from her until, like, it's like when Haley's comment comes by, then maybe I'll hear from Crystal. But she there.
Hey, Melinda.
I would have been kicked out of everything. No, I can't get kicked out of nothing. You know, people would have wanted to hang out with me. They're like, that motherfucker made me sick.
Yo, you know what? I gotta say shout out to the folks who are always supportive of the show. You know,
of our show?
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, you start to see these familiar names, so thank y'all for always showing up and showing love.
Yes. We're building this ground up, Ty. We ground up. We doing it, grassroots. You know, we giving people what they want, but also shit that they don't want. And they take it until they get what they want.
So
go ahead, Ty.
Toya, was you here when they were throwing the $1 million parties? And love was...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I used to go to Dream. Okay? My homegirl had the VIP card. We went to Dream in the snow. All right? Showed up at 1 a.m. right when the party just got good. I've been to Dream. I've been to Love. I was at CBC when Obama was running for president. There was never a better year to go to CBC than when Obama was the candidate.
When Obama was the candidate.
Jeez.
And he single-handedly, Toya, and I think we actually talked about this. I remember
talking about
you like around the metro. Obama came in and just like
y'all talk about good stuff. I was talking about wilding out.
Just sort of he just sort of
remember the Million Women March.
Wait, what?
I told the Million Women March. I told my friends that y'all are still single this weekend, that you obviously want to be single.
Oh, during the Million Man March?
It's 1 million of them here in the city. It's 1 million women in the city.
There would be like clusters of women. I just want to see what's going on. Well, shit, we marching. We told you what we're doing. But I was there. I remember bringing in a group from the University of Georgia. Yeah. We brought our busload from our white-ass school in the Deep South. Yeah. And that was one of the top 5 most beautiful days of my life, God honest.
Yeah.
To see peaceful black men on a perfect golden apple crisp autumn day. And it was fantastic. But then, as Farrakhan kept droning on, he was on his second hour. Me and my homeboy.
Talking about the Million
Women.
March.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Million Man March. Sorry. Oh, you're talking about men. I thought you were Million Man. I'm sorry. Carry on. I'll shut up. I'm going to smoke more. I have questions. Homeboy.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Go ahead, Shawn. I got like 10 more minutes.
I got 10 minutes. I'll probably stay till like 11:30. So
you're gonna stay by yourself. I'm gonna get off with Ty.
And Toya's gonna get off. Toya's gonna get off with Ty. Or you just gonna get off
at the same time as Ty? Let me say
at the same time as Ty. I always have to close it out. I close out each live and overtime. So either way, but no, I mean like the Obama period here. It was so exciting, and I remember when Tavis Smiley was doing those State of the Black America things, those forums. I used to follow those forums, but the hatred that came from that side of the black political ledger. I feel like I shouldn't go into it anymore because that's a whole nother conversation. But.
You know, that really made me sad because actually the day that I got into law school, I was in Oakland. Cornel West was speaking at Laney College in downtown Oakland. And so I was like, oh my God, I just got into law school. And like, Cornel West is here. Let's go hear him speak. And we leave the talk. We're driving down the street and I see Tavis Smiley walking down the street. And I tell my girl, stop the car. I'm about to go roll up on him. Like, I just want him to sign my law school letter. Because at Georgetown Law, the Dean of Admissions, or Andy Kornblatt, he signs every single acceptance letter with a personal note, or at least mine had a personal note. And I had it in my purse because I was like, I can't believe it. I'm going to Georgetown, right? So I run up on him and I stop because I'm like thinking of Chris Rock, head of state security, where I'm like, I don't know what security is. I don't want to get tackled on the street downtown Oakland. So I roll up on him real slow and I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Smiley, like, it's just so amazing to meet you. This is my name. This is what happened today. I'm like super excited. And I just want to ask you if you can autograph my acceptance letter. He's like, oh my God, sis, this is great. Georgetown, amazing. He's like, we got to go tell Cornell. So we go inside. He introduces me to Cornel West. They both sign it. And to see them, and like, I just cherish that moment, right? But to see them be so anti-Obama, I was just like, why? How could this happen? And crazy story, Shawn, when I worked at Superior Court, the judge I clerked for is the judge that ruled in Tavis Smiley's case. Full circle. Like,
whoa! And he lost the fuck out of that case.
Full freaking circle, okay, with Tavis. So
I interviewed Tavis, and I met some of the women that were involved with that whole thing. And I remember interviewing him when I was a reporter at Durham Herald. And it's like something ain't sitting right with this brother. And, you know, it's unfortunate, but really it ain't. It's like, you know what? Y'all hateful.
No, it's not. And, you know, as a Black woman, a lawyer, a professional, I've experienced those things, right? Like, I've been propositioned and I've had, you know, men and powerful men in different places put that quid pro quo on the table in their own slick and slide kind of way, right? Yes. And it's just crazy. But you know, you asked me, what do I like, DC or Cali better? Those things, these stories only happen, right?
Yeah,
in a place like DC. Yeah, like so.
I did a Shawn Says. This is one of those where Ty is like, oh, I don't know if I totally one of those cringeable Shawn Says where I was talking about how brothers in some of my circles, not some of the brothers you know, but other brothers. No, I'm dead serious. Like, there's a couple of chats, so I want to make sure that you don't have thoughts about certain people.
Yeah.
Like they were going after all the Black women in the Biden administration who happen to have white or non-Black husbands. Okay, I'm like, okay, that's nice and militant. Half or most of you same brothers still like non-Black women. And no one says shit about these brothers who come out of college with non-Black women on their arms and all this other shit. You love who you love, but it just feels like to me there's a different layer of hatefulness towards a sister achieving where brothers are either not achieving or don't have the same drive. And, you know, we can negotiate certain things about male-female relationships in the Black family and the Black household and all that shit. But I didn't think it was just fair because, you know, I just think it was bullshit. You talking about the quid pro quoing. A lot of brothers who get to these levels are quid pro quoing sisters, and it could be a turnoff. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just wanted to share that piece with you because you're talking about your professional situation.
Well,
you have tons of degrees.
I think there are a lot of men out there, even though they're over 45, they're still hunting. And, you know, no matter how old they are or how much, you know, education or how many degrees or whatever status they have, they're still hunting. And they see women, and especially Black women, as property, something that belongs to them that they can pick up and play with and use when they want to. So they don't want to see their toys, right, being handled by someone else, especially a white man.
That's not my
That's my
opinion.
take.
And I appreciate the take. What say you, Ty?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Hell no. Hell no.
Well, listen, I
Staying out of that.
love my brothers. I love men. You know, we stay open, no shade. There's still a lot of good ones out there. So
Very good, very good. She will pass. The question is, will any Republicans vote for the 3 or 4 votes that you thought that she would get? I'm talking about wavering.
you froze for a second.
Might be a good stopping point.
Oh, you losing me?
We lost you. Yeah, the last
Yep.
thing I heard was the 3-4 votes she thought she would get.
Oh, okay. Well, what I was saying was sometimes it happens. A fire truck drove by, so maybe that ran interference. But we thought that would be Lindsey Graham, homegirl from Alaska, maybe Mitt Romney, maybe Susan Collins. That even sliver of coalition of Republican votes are being mealy-mouthed about their support, even though they voted for her previously. So I don't know what's going to happen. But she'll get in, hopefully. I don't want it to be 50-50, though.
Why?
I mean, part of me wants it to be 50-50, and, like, Kamala comes in and puts the vote over the top. But, you know, there are people who you know better, and you would hope that they wouldn't play politics on something that is something that's going to happen regardless. And they would at least, on a symbolic level, say, we can do better than where we are. But if they don't do it, then it is what it is, too. But I would wish that wouldn't happen. That's me.
To say that we should expect they're definitely going to play politics. That's just the atmosphere that we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of political theater.
Yep.
But I hope and I have full confidence that she will be confirmed. And that's all that matters. It's a lifetime appointment. So she could slide in. She could paper her way in. I don't care. I just want to see her get in, and she's going to stay in.
And she'll be one of the 3 dissenting votes when affirmative action is rid from us. Because that's what's going to happen, too.
Absolutely. Ty, you fade in? What you thinking?
No, I mean, I was just maybe gonna chime in on the comment on the topic, and basically, you were right earlier. They can't get her on her lack of competence, right? It's always about a political affiliation, or they try to get her with the questions, and they can't get her.
They can't get
her. So that makes me feel good to see that the fact that they're not trying to down her because she can't do the job. She's obviously ready and been ready and can do the job. So I think this is going to be a really good turning point because she's actually showing up, for those of us who aren't there. And kind of reminds me of like what I do in my career. Like a lot of people have this woe is me approach where they're like, man, I'm the only one here. This is hard. People are looking at me crazy. But I see it as an opportunity to represent, for people that are going to come after you, right? It could be a lot worse. You do have the technical expertise to be there, so just shine. So, when other people who look like us are there, people won't be so surprised and act like, oh, like you're well-spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate that phrase. You know what I mean? I want to normalize Black excellence. So it's not a big deal for us to be there, So we'll get there one day. Like that's just my 2 cents.
I'm not being too hokey, but April 15th, which is also tax day, I moved here and I just realized it. April 15th, that's Jackie Robinson's day. The 15th anniversary is also the 75th anniversary of Jack Robinson, 47. And so the thing about that is like the first of any Black thing is never usually the blackest thing. They wanted Satchel Paige. They wanted Josh Gibson. Black folks wanted him, Like, even when we were talking about Frederick Douglass, and I think my boy Ira, I see you, Ira, if you want to get on with me, because Ty's about to leave and so is Toya. But the blackest of black, the thing that's accepted by the black folks is never the accepted one first. But the accomplished black person who has an appearance of a temperament, that word is often used, is the person that will get the door ajar for them. Not a criticism, but if you do have, and we've seen this with black men, so going back to my Shawn Says about everybody in the Biden administration who are black women having non-black spouses, well, to a white man, that makes them seem really pliable. That makes them seem the way. Let's remember Joe Biden used to be a Democratic Bull Connor 40 years ago. He gave Anita Hill hell. And he and Obama are cooking shit out in your beloved Hawaii. He's got more black people. Jim Clyburn is like, we can use this cracker because it's a political thing. Well, so I'll even flail out a little bit more. When Ralph Northam, the governor from Virginia, was either in the blackface costume or the KKK costume from his old college pictures, people were like, well, we need to get rid of him. Black people got smart in that occasion. He survived, and that joker passed prison reform and voting rights. He passed a lot of black issues, things that helped black people, because we became a viable base. I don't care whether you actually like us or not. I just want you to do the shit. And so there's so many lessons as far as like political calculations, as far as advancing. And I think that's something to be looked at from a helicopter's view of all this stuff. But that's
absolutely. No, I agree with you. And it reminds me, and I tell people all the time, one of my favorite movies is The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
They're making that a series. You know that, right?
No.
Yes. So your boy, Elon, whatever.
I really do.
He was Issa Rae's guy. You out of here, Ty?
I really do gotta go, y'all.
All right, brother.
Nice to meet you,
We trade out one great Aquarius with another great Aquarius. Love you, Ty. We're gonna do this again next week we're gonna do some drinking. I'll talk to you next week. Talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good night, y'all.
Hopefully, we'll see you Thursday at the Spades tournament.
You can at least drop in, throw some money at it, and then
I might bring a Spades partner with me.
Bring your partner.
All right.
Bring some folks. Good night.
So we swap out Ty. Toya's about to leave soon, but we have the other. This is Dr. Ira Davis. You didn't miss. This is my brother, he's a sociologist. He's a hip hopologist, and he's also my best friend from Macon, Georgia. Dr. Ira Antonio Davis, known this man. How long since we were rivals? Springdale versus Burns, elementary school.
Yeah.
Quiz bowl rivals. So we're talking about 35 years basically.
Yeah.
So we were geek rivals. Then we go to the same middle school. We're geek friends. So this is Dr. Ira Antonio Davis. This is the one that I was beatboxing over when he does Ira Explains the Ish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that. Nice to meet you. Good evening.
Yeah, nice.
And man, you got a lot of patience, boy. Woo. Shawn's best friend? I didn't even know that Shawn had a best friend.
I have several best friends. I got so many friends you don't know nothing.
Is that
about.
a thing?
So,
I know. Yeah, Shawn. You know, what's up with that? I heard you be cooking, having these nice dinners. I'm like, I've known Shawn for about 15 years, and he's never invited me to any of these dinner parties. I'm like, what's up with that?
You be like, hey, thanks for the invite, but I got such and such and such. But next time,
no.
Give me a I'm sick text.
Nah. Put me back on the list. Let me back in the circle. Come on, let me in the circle.
Well, COVID's let everybody out of the circle. You back in the circle. Brother Davis, I know you have pointed things to talk about with Judge Jackson, if you want to get into that.
Yeah, I was just, listening to you guys' conversation and I noticed what y'all were using the Jackie Robinson analogies and things of that nature. But right now it's like it's a plan that's going on. It's like, from the dominant society. I mean, they keep giving us these Obama-liked blacks,
The The safer, more palatable.
Yeah, the safer, more palpable blacks, just like Judge Jackson. Yeah, she's gonna make it. She's already in. You know, they chose somebody to get in there, so she wouldn't have much to go through. You know, and at this point here, when you deal with black people, we're at the point where, man, these people just want black people to disappear. They don't want us to be black. They don't want us to say black. They don't want us to do anything of that nature. All right. They want us to be nice and safe and all this stuff like that. They want to be nice and safe and have a white spouse and all this stuff like that. You know, that's who they want.
Can I say something though? I mean, as an attorney and a person that's in this profession, who has been a judge in the city and works for judges pretty much my whole career, I just want to say two things on that. One, this woman is a Harvard grad, twice undergrad, Harvard Law School. President Obama went to Harvard Law. It's a very small network when you talk about Black attorneys and judges, especially, right? So part of this is that the political powers that be are working within their own network, right? It's not like they just pulled her out of the abyss somewhere.
Oh no,
this is a friend, a colleague, right? These are people that.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that she was pulled out of nowhere. I mean, she was pulled out of somewhere. I mean, like Obama, he was not pulled out of nowhere. He was pulled out of somewhere. You know, so but what I mean when I talk about these people here, most of the time they have their experience is detached from the average Black experience. You know, so when it's who they're putting in front of us now. And these people have an agenda that's to the antithesis of Black people, all right, for the survival of Black people. All right, we have been a manufactured minority in America since 1865. All right, they do everything in their power to keep us at 10 to 15% of the population.
13%. All right. I was actually surprised at Reconstruction. We were still at 13%.
Yeah, and we're still at that today. All right, and they put everything against us. All right, so now it's like this. If someone was to come and call us the N-word, you know, who was a white person, we're gonna get all upset and respond in a certain way. But now they kind of like disrespecting us by bringing somebody who looks like us. And these people are passing laws that are to the antithesis of us, even these liberal people. All right, because some of this liberal agenda that they have now is most definitely to the opposite of what Black people need. All right, when they come and they're gonna come and they getting ready to bring, they have a certain, like when Obama came, yeah, he was the first Black president, but he came an agenda that's not killing Black people and pushing us to the back. Where they putting everybody else in front of us, where they say he was the first rainbow president. All right, so when you look, it's like, where are we in the mix?
So let me ask you this then: where are we in making the selection and electing the people that are pushing forward our agenda? Because I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you, but I think that we give them, whoever they are, way too much power, and we're not empowering ourselves to change the conversation and put our people forward.
Yeah, I mean, right now we gotta understand is they have the power. This is their country. I mean, we are guests in their country. When we accepted integration, you know, our foreparents before us, we became guests in this nation. We lost ownership of everything. Like I was telling my wife, we just having a conversation the other day. And I said, my wife, we're born in the 70s. And they claim that in the 60s, where you had segregation, that Black people owned a lot of businesses and all this stuff like that. But growing up, I have no recollection of any of these businesses per se. You know, with a handful, you know, like Jamel's, Shawn's parents,
they owned it. Because of the riots, though. That's because of the riots. I mean, in 68, people burned down the Black business corridors in their community. And
true, but we grew up in Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, we grew up.
Say something that I was gonna say. It was very celebratory of my parents. Thank you very much. Go ahead and say that real quick.
Yeah, you know what I was saying was,
Got it.
I said that Shawn's parents, they did have, their own business, but for the most part, like, but these corridors where you say you had, but there was like almost nowadays we got to like make an effort to buy black and do these things and support black people. All right, so when we like even with Dr. King, when he said that he felt that he had integrated us into a burning house, and he was, and near the end of his life, even with him, he was uncertain about this integration thing and how it is going, because I mean we're still holding the short end of the stick and all that, and like and even with some of the questions they were asking Judge Jackson, I mean they're worried about how if she's not gonna be tough on crime and all these things like that, because that's their code word for their law and order code word or
If
what
you're gonna
or
let
what
these Negroes off the hook.
yeah, there you go. But they're worried about all that, but they want her to hold up their law. They want her to hold up what they believe in. All right. I guess like with me where I'm at in my life, like I see every day, when we had Obama as president, that's when all the killings, that started out, they've been going on since all of the lynchings, as Shawn, he brought up Ida B. Wells earlier. Just now a lot of this stuff is televised. They're more televised or Facebook or caught on your phone lynchings, high-tech lynchings, I guess we can call them nowadays. All right, so these things are still going on, but in earnest, a lot of this stuff began as backlash to Obama being in office.
Yes.
And when he did try to step up and say something, they basically put him in his place when he came out and said that if I had his son, he would look like Trayvon. And then immediately he could not stand the backlash that came from that. And so we've been bearing the brunt of that.
You remember they couldn't wait to like brandish him a certain way when he said properly the officer who treated Henry Louis Gates in his home like shit.
Yes.
The home he owned. And they couldn't wait. They got on him for wearing a fucking tan suit. And Obama has gone out of his way to say, my grandfather was a World War II this, and I was raised in Kansas, and blah, blah, blah. And it's not enough for them. And I'm not dissing Judge Jackson. I believe in accomplished people showing and proving their way.
So my whole thing with the Judge Jackson thing is I'm not dissing her. I'm just dissing the system, because we live in a system of racism and white supremacy. And in that system of racism and white supremacy, what we have to do is basically what we're doing. We're just prisoners milling around on the prison yard trying to figure out what's going on. And like with a lot of us, we just trying to have the most comfortable jail cell in this thing that we call racism and white supremacy. All right. And we just trying to find a way to survive in this particular system. All right. Whereas like with me, I don't necessarily, I try to deal I'm to the point now where I try to deal as little in the system as I have to deal with.
Trust me, I know.
So that's kind of like the point where I am now, trying to be there as little as possible, deal with it as little as possible, because I know that this particular system is not necessarily for me. It's not necessarily right now. It's most definitely not necessarily for my children. All right, and some of the things, they'll have us believing they keep letting us want to bring more immigrants and have them get in front of the line in front of us, and they want us to be the ones that are doing that.
Real quick before Toya feels bombarded, because I know we're on borrowed time with her. I brought in Hanif Omar, who's a colleague of mine. The whole thing about Shawn's show is that I go into my phone book of people that have been great friends I work with, and they have expertise now because I'm 45 years of age. And I can bring them on and we talk about things. and that's why we can have these casual conversations. But you're in Shawn Overtime. It's 11:15. Toya's got to get out of here soon, but real quick, before she goes out or she responds to any of this, cccspadesattorney.eventbrite.com. I'm going to leave it up there in the pinned part of the chat for the next 5 minutes, or at least until she leaves, and then I'm going to put back my sponsor, Body Butter Bakery, because that's who pays me. Hey, Kym, how you doing? And we got Hanif Omar here. Dr. Davis is dropping some knowledge. We're talking about, we're not dissing Judge Jackson because that is a proud flashpoint, but he's also talking about the mechanics of the white oligarchy that still controls America, even though they're not the majority anymore, to pick and choose the minorities they want to have in certain places to, in his opinion, push certain agendas that are still suppressing what Black people need. Is that correct, Ira? Okay, that's one. Hani, before you jump in, Toya, I want you to say some things.
Yeah, so I just want to say a couple of things.
And thank you for your patience.
Of course, in response to Dr. Davis, and also give folks who are on the live a couple of books to look at and research, in regards to what he said. So again, I hear you, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I hear a lot of they and a lot of them. Like Shawn pointed out, we are still 13% of the population. So there is a lot that we can accomplish if we're unified, but unfortunately, as Black people, right, we're not. And so we can't even get our 13% unified around what we want to see happen and who we want to see representing us and what our issues are. So it's always going to be a challenge for us to buck this system, right? Or to stop being a prisoner in somebody else's country, the way that you put it. Too often we choose to separate ourselves from our people in our communities, which just gives them in the day that you're talking about even more power. A couple of books on that. One is Locking Up Our Own. And it's a book about how Black people, Black politicians, Black communities, Black churches were all complicit, right, in the 90s crime bills and legislation that ended up incarcerating our men, our fathers, and breaking up Black families, right? Asking for our elected officials to be tough on crime, and because their job became getting reelected, they adopted that strategy as well, and they adopted that message. And it was
we asked them
our
to be,
right? Our pastors, our aunties.
Like our community asked them to be tough on crime, while the dominant society was behind the crime. So there was a reaction.
I would say that, people set traps, and if the trap is there, don't walk into it, right? So again, like I hear a lot of them and they, but where is the accountability for us and our failure and our inability?
Well, here's the thing:
Dr. Davis, I let you speak.
All right,
Dr.
okay,
Davis.
I'm sorry.
I gotta go. So,
okay. Go ahead and finish up. I'm sorry.
I would just say that I don't disagree with you, but I think that a lot of what you said, I don't hear the accountability and I don't hear the power of us, right? And so, like, if what you said is true, then how can we overcome that? And I think that starts with us taking accountability for our complacency and our participation in whatever their plan is. So I just put that book out there for people who don't understand what we're talking about and who may disagree because they're not informed. Because again, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I'm a solution-oriented type of person. And so I'm like, okay, so then what do we do about it? Another book that I want to talk about is The Failures of Integration. Because you're right, when we were forced, right, and our only option was to live in communities with our people, we fared much better. We had Black teachers, Black lawyers, Black doctors. In all the Black community, that's where they shop. That's where they went for services. I'm from California, but the thing that I noticed when I went to Atlanta, Georgia for the first time, and I took my son and my neighbor and their kids, their Black boys, we went to visit some friends there, and we went to Martin Luther King Jr.'s house. And the one thing that I noticed first was that you could tell on that street the people on this side of the street were the people that had more money than their neighbors that lived across the street. Just by the way the houses were, the steps, like, oh, your house is right up on the street. We got steps, we got a whole front lawn before you get to our door. It was very telling, right? And I'm like, but yet they still stayed on the street. They could have moved, right? They could have moved to a different town, could have moved to a better neighborhood, but they stayed right there. And now what I see, because I am a lawyer, right, is that people give money, Black people give money, and the first thing they want to do is move out of the community, right? We have adopted the idea and bought into the idea that white is better and that I'm making a certain amount of money. So I want to live over here and I want to network and I want to be around these people because my people are dangerous and they lazy and they throwing trash on the ground instead of taking accountability and going to our people and saying, look, how can we all live in this community and make it the shit? We just pack up our stuff and we go. Right. And so, again, where is the accountability and where's the action on our part?
That is the curse of improper integration that's been passed on for generations and generations. That side must have it better than us. With that said, I know you want to retort, Ira. Hanif has been listening for 4 or 5 minutes now. Hanif Omar from formerly Fast Break Radio. By the way, before I get onto you, Hanif, these are my friends. And I'm in all of the suck, as they say in those old war movies, with them. They are all entrenched, and there's different viewpoints, but sometimes we're all saying the same things. And I feel everything that they're all saying. So that's why it's the Shawn show, and that's why you get into my Rolodex. This is my mindset of thoughts that we just need to bandy about. That said, Hanif Omar, which I always want to call you doctor. I know you're not doctor, but I know you're definitely down. Down, Hanif Omar from Durham, North Carolina. Get in here, and then Dr. Davis, you get into it as well. Go ahead, Hanif.
Well, I think this is great. I think I'm surprised, one, that the panel has similar ideals, and I'm happy that we progressed in our thought process again. So, getting back to the main premise, talking about the Supreme Court justice appointment, again, we should see it as just that. We shouldn't be surprised that there's some level of Black excellence. Great, right? But we should know, like the gentleman said, the doctor said, that is not, we shouldn't see that as any type of progress for any of us as a whole. We forget about Thurgood Marshall was a Supreme Court justice before, and so that doesn't mean progress for all. That's progress for her, period. To the point of both of your other panelists here is, and to be solution based, what are we going to do, seeing that we have some level of achievement, of Black achievement? We know we are very good at achieving things, but the solution is to see that aspect for what it is and still work on our own communities. Again, like the gentleman said, he can't remember Black businesses. I grew up in inner city DC, right on the street that was torn down, H Street, when Dr. King was assassinated. The reason why these businesses were not rebuilt was because of the mindset. The unfortunate part of it is we have been trained to put Du Bois versus Booker T as opposed to incorporating both of their aspects. It's not one or the other. And even, in my class, I teach the history of African American business in this country. We should also have included Garvey there too. You could take all three of these great men from the early 1900s and put them together. So yes, we had a Black president. We've had a Black Supreme Court justice. We have Black senators and congressmen. That's not really where the real progress is. The way
you're saying individual achievements does not equate to racial as a whole communal achievement.
That's right. So we integrated without a plan. So what? Guess what? What's the solution then? This part of the solution is conversations like this. We are now mature enough to see the mistakes of integration and how do we react to it? How do we proactively do things? And how do we proactively do things is not see this appointment as any type of progress other than for what it is, and then continue to do the groundwork of really changing our mentality with conversations like this to know that it really is wealth that can control the political system if we focus on financial literacy and wealth and things of that nature. So I've dedicated my work at Shaw University, my work in my business and entrepreneurship on empowering ourselves from a wealth perspective, and then you can turn some of the other spokes of this system in our regards. The Ukrainians just got $14.5 billion, and they haven't casted one vote ever in America.
And they
So
were
how do
known
you
as a
get
corrupt
$14 billion?
society. Yeah.
Because you are you act like the lady said. We're not a monolith, but we have to move from a power perspective with that full 13%. Dr. Claude Anderson said it's actually 12%, but whatever the percentage is, we need to move as a group and use our wealth to kind of press on these other things. So yes, we got an appointment. Whoop-de-doo. Good for her. There were always people appointed on the plantation. There were people that manumitted themselves before we was even had the Emancipation Proclamation. That doesn't mean that all of us is free. Obama was the president, and we still have these problems. And the last thing I would say, because I don't want to say too much, is that, again, this crime bill, the person that put the crime bill out and the person that actually explains that, hey, this is my crime bill, is the president that black people elected, Joe Biden. And so how do we now use this this appointment and these conversations to move us in the right direction? And like the gentleman said, the Supreme Court is part of this system. So if we have one black face in the system, that doesn't change the system. That means we just integrated into the system. We're still going to carry out the same plan of the system.
I mean, you know, I would just say that having black judges on the Supreme Court has definitely changed our access to wealth and opportunities in this country. And I know as an attorney and a former judge that having Judge Brown Jackson confirmed is certainly progress for us. And we will see that as the court continues, hopefully, to change. You know, it takes more than her as one judge, and we know what the makeup of the court is right now. So we need more Brown Jacksons on the court, and just her getting to this stage and being confirmed is definitely lending itself to that. I don't disagree with you, but in terms of wealth, you know, I spent my whole day yesterday advocating before DC Council. And one thing and theme that kept coming up as we talked to certain council members was that DC has a lot of money. It's $19 billion in the budget in the city right now. This city is rich and they spend a lot of money, but they don't see the results because of the way they spend the money and the lack of accountability, right, for the results that we're looking for. So I think that, you know, we hold those who are elected and those who are appointed accountable, and we make sure that we're advocating and we're saying, okay, you're in this position and we want you to use your position this way, then we will see the progress that we're looking for. Just having them in the seat and not using them properly gets us nowhere.
We're up against it. Hold on a second. Hold on, everyone pause. I'm going to reset some things and then I'm going to let Ira get in here. His name is Ira, by the way. I know you say brother, and I appreciate honey because you're the most polite man I've ever met. But it's Ira. IRA, like Internal Revenue. What was that damn A stand for? We never knew, did we?
IRA.
So with that said, it's 1:30. You're watching Shawn Overtime. The numbers have dropped because we're talking some serious shit, but we're going to talk some serious shit because this is my Rolodex and these are my friends and this is shit that I actually talk about outside of Ready to Love. So if you want to talk about some Ready to Love shit, okay, fine. Maybe later, but not right now. We're talking some serious shit. This is presented by Body Butter Bakery. That's the sponsor. She's got some new products out. She's not making any more body butter until October. So y'all, as she asks, have to be cool with that. She's got some new products. Check it out on bodybutterbakery.com. Toya is the lady in red. Hanif is the gentleman in the dark ass shadows. Ira has half his face shadowed. and we're having a fantastic conversation where no one, if I'm correct, collectively, is dissing Judge Brown Jackson's accomplishments and the fact that it's a monumental accomplishment. But we're also dividing the thing and saying individual accomplishments of black excellent people in a white world is not the same as black people en masse moving to where we need to trickle down. One thing I'll say this too, so everyone can make this clear, people who are watching and don't know Toya Carmichael, if you want to make some judgments, Toya has not been off point off this. Toya and I agree on like 90% of everything, just like I think everybody here agrees on 85, 90% stuff. Toya still lives in the hood. She lives and her money is invested in the hood. That's why she has Carmichael community connections, correct? And that's why she has a Spades tournament that's still pinned down there. cccspades.tourney.eventbrite.com. UNNDC, so the fuck what? You can give money to that cause because it's giving money for young people to put book money into their pockets who go to college. And that's the type of person that Toya Carmichael is. All these cats are that way. Hanif is charitable. Ira is totally charitable. I'm Shawn. I'm quasi-charitable because and that's Ira, and Ira's got shit to say. We're 31 past the hour. Carry on.
Yeah, like just jumping back in, like what Hanif was saying, you know, we deal with Black history, like how we learn Black history. Everyone else learns their history as group history. All right, but now how we learn Black history is through individual achievement.
Yeah.
And through those individual achievements, it makes it look like the group is doing a lot. All right. But in actuality, our group is not, as a group, we're not moving that much. And like
Are you saying window dressing, Ira?
Say it again.
Are you saying window dressing?
Yeah. You know, so as you deal with everything that's going on with like Judge Jackson, you know, I'm sure that she's a great person. I'm sure that she's a great judge, and all these things. I'm sure that she's out, but that's a great individual accomplishment. All right, you know, but in the, you know, the totality of things like that, you know, she sounds like she's really one that's gonna hold up the ideals of Americana and all that stuff like that, and she sounds like she's real relatable and likable to those who are in the power structure.
Are you saying curb your enthusiasm over this election?
No, what I'm saying is they're choosing the person who they want. She's probably very likable to their taste and everything like that. And again, this is in their particular house, and they're choosing the person to be a leader in their house.
That's not how appointments work, guys. And you have to know that the Black Bar associations, Black women, professional groups, there are a lot of Black people that had a lot of participation in picking who the nominee was going to be.
I get that. I get that. But what I'm saying here is that even in some of these organizations, a lot of the organizations that you have just named, a lot of these are organizations that now they're trying to find their comfort level within the system of racism, white supremacy. All right?
I would say that some of them are trying to mobilize and organize the 13%, and they're also building their individual wealth so they can put it back into the community and execute their strategy. It just depends on which organization and who's leading it. I'm a member of a lot of those organizations, including my sorority. So as a person that's on the inside of these organizations, I would just have to disagree with you a little bit. You know, somebody said, oh, she's married to a white man. I'm from California. Guess what? I've dated a white man. I've dated Mexican men. I've dated Asian men, right? It doesn't make me any less Black. It doesn't mean that I'm less for the cause of Black people. It just means that I've dated non-Black men.
But
right?
this is,
Hold on a second. This is ignorant, but I must urinate. So, Hanif, because you are my mentor in some respects, you have the calm. Y'all keep talking. Carry on.
So, you know, I would just say that, of course, she's going to sound a certain way and she's going to present herself with a certain decorum. When I go to work, when I was a judge and I was sitting on the bench, I use a certain tone of language, right? I use certain words because that's the role of that job. You're playing a role and you're doing what you need to do to move yourself forward.
Yeah, we learn how to wear the mask real good in this system. But going back to some of the things, someone, you know, criticizing her for her love interest. I mean, that's her love interest. She can like who she want to love on that end. But I'm going here. I'm talking about when we're dealing with who we're seeing who's being put before us as our leadership. Because these people are being chosen as leaders by other people, and they're being brought to us as our leaders. All right. Now,
what I'm saying to you is that she was also chosen by a lot of us.
I get that, but I get that, but it's bigger than her, because you know. But what I'm saying is a lot of this her game is going on a lot now. We see that with Kamala Harris. That her game is going on a lot. We saw that with Barack Obama. That game is going on a lot. All right. We see it with the people a lot of the people who they're putting before us now, like even images and everything from your Tiger Woods to everything in between is like somebody, they slipping in something. So they don't have our total full agenda of our people. It doesn't seem to be at heart. All right. And they're choosing people that have some niceties to the dominant society's agenda.
I would agree, and I think it's necessary, though, right? Because we're 13% of the population, and I don't think that we can accomplish everything that we want to accomplish without having support from the majority of the country. And so they're going to pick people who can also rally and bring in the support of people from the majority in this country to move the agenda forward.
Right,
and I just think that makes sense.
But at the same time, what they try to do as well, they try to tag black people to these liberal policies, right? And they have us now supporting a lot of immigration policy stuff with Ukraine, like you just said, Shawn. They getting $13 billion. We asked for we ain't got no money.
14.5 billion.
Why don't you listen to my Shawn Says?
14.5 billion, not 13.
We ain't got no money for y'all. Oh, that was a long time, man. That was 2 grandmamas ago.
So
that's how long ago that was.
Dr. Davis, I would ask you again because the other gentleman, and I apologize, I didn't catch your name, but you said, I'm sorry. Hanif said something, and he also said, we need to talk about financial literacy. We need to talk about wealth building. Like, I appreciate that so much because those are solutions, right?
Yeah, but
those are strategies.
Part of the wealth building.
I'm not getting that from you, Dr. Davis.
Part of the wealth building. Part of the wealth building that we need to talk about in America is America, you owe us. That's part of the wealth building. America, you owe us for that stolen labor. That's what you stole from us.
Okay, so now you're still putting the onus back on the day.
Yes, I'm putting the onus
like,
on them because our problem is not all those other problems. Our problem is racism, white supremacy. That is our problem.
So then let me say this real quick. Let me ask this question really quick.
Okay.
If your solution is we need them to take a certain action, how do we then get them to take that action that benefits us, not them, without having some of us that they can relate to, that speak their language, that know how to play their game? I mean, I just feel like you're talking on both sides of the issue, and I don't understand how we can get them to give us reparations without.
I guess at the end of the day, I'm at the point of I'm tired of playing games with these people.
Yes, and see that's one of the things. I think you guys bring two beautiful perspectives. This is a black man who's tired of it, and so he's getting right to the bottom line, right? And you are a very respectable woman, an attorney in your own right, a business person in your own right, that is kind of a little bit further away from the bottom line, but you have a solution to get to the bottom line. I think you guys are saying the same thing. What I hear from the brother, Dr. Ira, is something that I feel inside. I'm tired of all the window dressing, to be honest with you. However, as we look at us being enslaved, 400 some odd years, it takes time. It takes time for us to get there. So yes, I am definitely frustrated with the process, but I can speak to it and see where we are in the historical piece of it. We got a little bit more before we get to the bottom line. Unfortunately, Ira, we do need people, unfortunately, and this is not my suggestion, but this is and it's not my particular point of view in terms of how to do it that way, but we do need people working in that regard that kind of can work through the system and do those type of things. I'm like you, bro. I'm at the point where I don't care. So like the person commented that it does make it is a big deal for some people that her husband is not an African American man. So what does that say to me? To see a woman somebody puts in front of you and say, hey, look, this is person is going to be for you. Well, if she's going to be for me, a black male, specifically a black male, then she doesn't really love a black male to the umpteenth extent because she's chosen not to have a black male as her mate.
Do you
Maybe
see
she
Glenn
didn't
Wynn?
choose a black male as a mate
whether
and
we
he didn't
value
choose
that or
her.
not, that's something that we need to consider. And Dr. Ira needs to consider your point that, hey, we need to meticulously look at the process. We need to do both. Again, that's what I'm saying. I don't think either of you guys are saying anything incorrect. I think we need both of those perspectives, but I hope you hear each other from different perspectives. This brother is tired of that because, like we said, we've gotten the Kamala thing, and I'm not going to even speak on that piece of it. I'll let y'all go. That's another whole show. So I'm not going to muddy the waters with that. But also I would say to Dr. Ira, please listen to the sister because also she has, Attorney Toya, listen to her as well because she has a perspective. I think when we bring both of them together, that's when we connect the dots and get there. Now, what I would say for reparation, if they did give us reparation, this is the unfortunate part. We saw, even though we didn't get a large percentage of PPP loans, but we saw that we can't get a big dump of money. So, for instance, we get $14 billion tomorrow, the price of bread is going to be $14 billion. So,
And
unless you have the
tomorrow,
literacy to use
the
that
dominant
wealth,
society, they're
unless
gonna
you have the
get back
literacy to use
$13
that wealth.
billion.
You know,
What I'm saying is if we get any level of wealth without financial literacy, it's going to go right back to the
Yeah.
oligarchy anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm
So we got
agreeing
to
with
work
you.
on both.
If we get 14 billion tomorrow, the dominant society they'll have 13 billion of that right back.
listen.
Exactly. So
I
that's why I'm saying you guys are saying the same thing. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm hearing both of you. You guys are saying the same thing. But all I'm saying is don't you guys are not opposing each other. You guys are bringing two different aspects of the entire puzzle. That's all I would say. And I appreciate the fact that I didn't think it was black people out here like you guys, to be very honest with you. Until I tuned in, I'm like, whoa, wow, I'm totally relieved. I'm totally relieved that we have these perspectives, but again, this is what my life work will be as long as the Creator allows me to stay on the earth.
I mean, but
is financial literacy and realizing that. And we talk about books. There's a book that's beautifully written. It's 800, 900 pages by Amos Wilson. It's called Blueprint for Black Power, and it talks about all the aspects of the system. Since we've decided to be here in this system and we haven't cut off, like Garvey perspective was totally cut off, then we have to learn how to work these spokes. And bigger part of the spokes is you can buy any politician. So, for instance, Attorney Toya in D.C. talked about, I'm from D.C., but as you can see, I'm out here in the woods now in North Carolina. But my point is, the D.C. budget just went from 14 billion to 18 billion.
19.
Yet they've cut all the youth programs. They cut all the programs that go into the black youth. So what does that mean? What does that mean? So that means we're still misusing the money in a city that we still control city government. So that there's some certain level of financial literacy that we need to put pressure on those politicians. And so I think you guys are saying both are saying the right things. Please don't think you guys are opposing each other. That's the only thing I say.
Yeah, I just feel like there are a lot of options and we have a lot of choice. And I get really frustrated when we have these conversations and it's presented as if we have no choice but to wait for them and they, right, to do something for us.
I mean, the only reason I use the words them and they is because sometimes on platforms like this, sometimes they, skew the algorithm and they cause a lot of problems, so I'm trying to make sure that there's no problem in the feed or anything. Sometimes we have to speak in coded language.
No, I got it. And, I'm super excited because I see my Cali people jumping in here. We got, my Filipino homegirls from the Bay Area in here, my Black sisters from DC, we all over. And so it's a very diverse group of people joining the conversation. And, same way that I have people who move to Costa Rica, right? Like I had the opportunity to go to Costa Rica, be on the Caribbean side and go to Marcus Garvey's family's restaurant, right? See their cultural center right across the street and see how they're building community. And they got tired of the system So they left. There's so many options. There's so many choices. You know, I had an opportunity to study abroad in West Africa. So it's like, we can be tired. We don't have to stay, right? People have left and they have started over and they have
Nah,
created
I mean, but
communities.
it's like
And
this.
we can do that, right?
I mean, that's one option of that we can leave and all that. But my blood has been here longer than their blood.
But you
Yeah,
said
you're
that
absolutely right. Yeah.
you're a prisoner in a guest in their country. So which one
Yeah,
is it? Like, I just don't. Is it your country or is it their country? I don't know. You know.
it's both because if look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm both of them.
With that said, it's 46 past the hour. This has been a fantastic conversation. I don't want us to get circular. I think there's 85 to 90% that we all agree on. There's different ways to burn the ends of this candle, but we got to get lighting either way. One thing that's important, read. Motherfuckers read and do something. And whether it's going to be against the white system or to motivate the black system to do things to your liking. Because I'll say this, as a brother who lives in D.C. that's watched my neighborhood change over these 15 years, I'm tired of hearing the words gentrification, but yet getting on social media and every black person's a superstar. They ain't gentrifying and spending their money on the right shit. That's a personal thing that I'm tired of.
I bought my house, Sean. I bought a house in Southeast.
You bought a house in Southeast in the hood of the hood.
That's the only place you can buy a house without getting robbed.
I've always lived in Southeast. My family grew up in Southeast. I'm from Cali, but my parents met at Ballou High School. You weren't here earlier, but they'll be married 50 years next week. So
awesome.
My whole family is DC. My cousin lives around the corner.
And since I was name checked real quick,
well in Northeast, the house.
This is the family picture of my mom and dad's business that Ira was talking about. The man in the black is my dad. The men around him are my uncles who my dad hired, and the lady is my mom, who's still alive. My dad's not. And that business has been standing for 45 years.
Yes.
Jeffersonville Road in Macon, Georgia, in the deep south.
Well, I grew up in Northeast, and the property values are triple or double those in Southeast. So if you can't, for people on the line, let's all buy up Southeast. You know, Marion Barry lived in Southeast.
There you go.
The Northeast corridor, Ward 5, where I grew up in the house that I grew up in, boarded up was for over $1 million. You know, when I settled my grandfather's estate, so it is exorbitant. And again, so we can act locally, like you guys are probably doing, and think globally. But yes, to your point, yeah, we definitely should not worry about gentrification and try to buy as much as we can. But it goes right back to financial literacy. Do we understand, or is it best for us to move out to Waldorf or to move to PG County, or should we group our money to try to get back DC at the price rate that it is now? I don't know. That's something that we can talk about.
Buy a house in Clinton and buy one in DC. You sold your house for $1 million. I hope you bought 3 or 4 houses with that money, right? Wherever you want to buy it.
Ira, Dr. Lykin has been named area code checking 478. I appreciate Dr. Lykin.
There's acres behind me. That's all I would just say.
Damn. Build some houses and sell it to some black people, right? Like, put something on that land. What can you do with it?
What I want to do for the people who are still staying up late, because it's crazy, because Toya was supposed to be gone. Yeah, carry on.
You get me to talking politics, and I'm just gonna be up all night.
Because this is one of the best. The God's truth. This is one of the best sisters I've met here in DC. You just pick her brain, you see her heart, you see what she does. I mean, that's a real one right there, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's why I always clown on. That's all I always clown on the men that she brings forth. But that's another story.
Look, I'm trying to get her brothers a chance. See, so y'all won't drag me if I go to the white man. But y'all make it real hard.
You don't want no lame ass second gentleman. Like we. Anyway, that's enough. I'm not getting into that. It's overtime. It ain't no formatted show. But I wanted to spotlight Hanif a little bit. Hanif, do you remember when we first met? And can you tell people your professional background? Because you talk about your life's work. Because it's genuinely your life's work. Because you used to work at a certain place. can you just give a little quick biography about yourself for people who don't know you? Although you were on the show 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Well, right currently I run an equity fund, Piedmont Business Capital, and it's a CDFI. We're the third largest CDFI, black-owned CDFI in North Carolina, and my job is to distribute about $6 million to small and black-owned businesses. That's what I do, and that's really what I enjoy. I'm also a professor of entrepreneurship at Shaw University. I run the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center there. Former state auditor and accountant. When we were on the show, I was a state auditor working for the state of North Carolina in the accounting function. And just, like I said, having provocative conversations like we are now, that's how we met. And then so I have a background in real estate and investing in real estate and education. And someone educated me in order for me to matriculate out of Washington, D.C., and to bring back some type of knowledge to my family. My grandfather was from North Carolina. He was illiterate, and he moved, part of the Great Migration, moved to D.C. for better jobs, quote unquote, but he left behind a lot of land because he was ignorant of the power of land at that time. So my whole job now is to kind of go back and kind of right the wrongs as I stand on his back, and there's many others like that. So that's my background. And again, like I said, these type of conversations are great because I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked at one moment of the confirmation. I've seen many a confirmations. I sat through the Clarence Thomas confirmation. We grew up knowing about Thurgood Marshall. And like Dr. Ira has said, I'm just kind of sick and tired of it. And so instead, to Attorney Toya's point, I said instead of being sick and tired, once I visited Ghana, West Africa, and those brothers was just dying to come back on the plane with me because they thought they could make progress, I said, well, I'm in the position they want to be in, so I need to start working in spite of all of my anger and frustration with the American system and white supremacy, et cetera. I'm going to at least do some type of work to combat that, and that's what I've been doing now. And it starts with one kid at a time. I run a youth program. And I'll say this lastly, you see my name is Bull City Thunder. That's a youth basketball organization, travel ball organization that's been around for 10 years. When I tried to work at the Rites of Passage program, I would get 10 or 13 young men to sign up. If I say we're doing basketball, I got 100 and 200 black children looking for a dream in NBA, but they find out as we go through that, they're going to get educated through that. So that was my Trojan horse into helping young people. And I mentor young men and young women through the auspices of basketball, but it's a Trojan horse to get us to at least, to be at this point.
And Ira, we're lifelong friends, but also you got a legacy of righteousness with your grandfather, who has a name, Walt Davis, in Macon, Georgia. Back when Macon wasn't a civil rights hotbed, but there was, of course, racism was still going on, and it was one of those quiet places like Kharkiv in Ukraine for you white people. I think there's 2 white people on right now. Like Kharkiv right now, it's an important motherfucking damn place in the civil rights movement. So Ira, if you could give a little bit of your background, and we just matriculate for everyone.
All right, so I guess like given my background, as Shawn just said, I'm the grandchild of my grandfather, Walt T. Davis, Sr., and he was the president of the Macon NAACP through the turbulent 60s. And he helped to lead in I guess where I've been going against the integration of the city.
He helped integrate it.
He helped integrate the city, but
for making it get integrated.
Yeah, but now in private conversations with him later on, he kind of he didn't know about that, the outcome of that. But as individual as myself, I'm an educator, been educated for 23 years. Have my doctor is in teaching and learning, and I'm married, wife, Dr. Davis, she's Dr. Davis as well. We got a whole bunch of kids. Uh, so with our whole bunch of kids, that's who we build our organization, our foundation around. So our organization around them, like, we have weekly meetings. I mean, they're actual meetings. They got to attend where we teach our children. They learn Dr. Claude Anderson. They learn Mr. Neely Fuller. They learn Black history. They learn about family history. They learn about our religious beliefs. So these are the foundational things that I teach within my children. When I was younger, growing up, I used to be a part of a lot of other organizations and things like that. But as I've gotten older and I've had children, my time is I can't be in those organizations, so I have to pour into my children all that I can pour into them. Also, as being an educator as well, I try to pour into my students all that I can pour into my students as well.
Got some smart kids.
Trying to make sure that I'm trying to shape the world in the image I want the world shaped in. And so that's that's kind of, I guess, my main spiel of everything, and like Hanif said, he said that he didn't know that all these Black people existed like this. So as I tell my wife, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, he taught us about the 5%. And of course, like you have a group called the 5% Nation, but they came out of the original Nation of Islam theology. Who's the 5%? Those are the poor righteous teachers. And so when you deal with 5%, so there's only a small percent of us, that are out here working. The majority of our people, they're the masses of the people, and they're led astray, and they're looking for someone. Sometimes they're not looking for someone, but they need somebody to kind of lead them into the right direction. All right, and then sometimes we got this 10%. All right, and sometimes this 10%. These are these people who I'm saying being pushed up in front of us. And these are those bloodsuckers of the poor that I might see who being pushed up in front of us right now. All right, so I'm kind of weary of those who are being propped up by the dominant society, and they just skinning and grinning with them up there being pushed out to the front. So that's my sister. When you see me kind of saying some things like that, that's kind of like just weary of all that when they come out there like that, but of course, we need some people to be a part of the system. But like the book that you said earlier, a lot of our problem are the Black politicians. We get into these positions to change things, and then we become just as corrupt as the people we were trying to fight against.
Ooh, I wrote that play. I gotta send it to you.
And so like we get in there, I'm really gonna change some things, and then we become just as corrupt as those who corrupted everything.
But Dr. Davis, if you too tired to run for office, then what are we gonna do?
No, I didn't say
I'm just saying.
I'll say this.
I
Let me say this. My undergrad degree is in political science.
Same.
I have about 7 more years left in this education game. I wouldn't say 6. My wife just yelled and said 6.5. All right. So
Cher, how you doing?
Jamel said, how you doing, Cher? She said she's doing good. I wouldn't put that past. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of kids. Shawn knows, and my youngest is 8 right now. So trying to and Rico was asking, just as an aside, Shawn, Rico was asking, am I gonna have some more? so I told him I think I'm done, but my baby girl told me she want another sibling. So
you got more kids than Ragnar Lothbrok. More kids.
So with that, when things are kind of settled, I wouldn't put the politician thing. I mean, that was my initial thing, but kind of, I guess, kind of sick of the politics of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, even when I voted, I didn't vote for I couldn't bring myself to vote for Trump or Biden. I wrote in Dr. Claude Anderson. That's who I voted for. And my vice presidential candidate was Dr. Umar Johnson. That's who I put.
Dr. Claude Anderson didn't even vote for him. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Listen,
but what?
Well,
and
I wrote in
that's you
too. I
using your
wrote in too, but
choices.
I won't tell you who I wrote in. But I
Yeah,
did write in too. So
yeah,
But
Hey, honey,
but
honey,
that's the
for real.
power that I was
Text
talking
me.
about,
I'll
right?
keep it secret.
yeah.
I want you to text me who you wrote in, honey. Go ahead,
Because,
Toya.
No, I'm
because
saying, that's the power that I was talking about. We, it's a cliche statement, but we have to be the change that we want to see. Like,
yeah,
period. If we don't like who they're putting forth, then we need to put ourselves forth, right?
right.
And we need to build our coalition of people that are going to support us and that are going to put us forth. I've ran for office in DC before, in an office that doesn't even pay, voluntary.
Right.
Not because I studied political science too. I went to Berkeley and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run for office, be a
Was it ANC?
politician.
Was it ANC? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, for
It
ANC.
was ANC.
And then I got to DC, came here with a baby, 2-year-old, and going to law school. So I was like, run for office. I'm just trying to pay these loans. Like, I just got to pay for this education, right?
Right.
But my community, as radical as I might be to some people, they put me forward. They kept asking me, they begged me to run for office. And I said, I'm going to do it because this is what we need. Right. And so sometimes we just have to be willing to put ourselves out there and just lead the way. If we don't like who's running it, let's take over. Professor at Shaw, I just had a DC Council candidate, a Shaw alumni, in my house earlier, and she's running for office. She might win, she might not, but she said, listen, I'm just thankful to have the experience of going through this process. And she's like, Judge Carmichael, I just want to know, if I don't win, and even if I do win, who are we going to put forth next? She was like, who are we going to run for council next, right? Like, that's the conversation that we're already starting to have. And she's not even on the ballot yet, but she's already thinking forward, like, okay, who else? Who do we need to be looking for? Is it you? Is it her? Who? Right? And so I'm like, yeah, we know what the problems are. We know what we want them to do, but power never concedes anything, right? They're not going to just give it to us to say, you know what? We've been treating y'all bad and we owe y'all this money. Here you go. It's not going to happen like that. We are going to have to make it happen. So.
well, I think that, again, for both of you guys, again, if we feel that you still can control the political wing, hanging out with all these bankers that I do now and all these equity fund managers, you can control it from the money. So you don't have to be out front. You don't have to be the singer. You can be Puffy. You don't have to be Biggie, but you can be Puffy and put the money behind it, and we can control the political landscape through wealth. We can
And that's
definitely do
exactly
that.
where I'm at. I hang out with bankers now, don't I, Shawn?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Lame as fuck, but she does.
Listen, strategy, Shawn, strategy. Okay.
I think that ain't strategy.
I'm like,
Listen,
what do you do? Oh, you working money, huh? Okay.
I dig it. I understand. And real quick, these are my friends. This has been Shawn Overtime because Facebook, IG is going to shut us off at the 4-hour mark. That means there's 3 minutes left. I'm just going to shut it down right now. Anybody who wants to join me, I'll hang out for at least 30 more minutes. If not, I'll say goodnight to all my friends. If you want to join back in, Ira, Honey, Toya, I got a feeling Toya's done.
Hey, I got to get up
You
at
got
like
kids
5:30, so I'm gonna holler at you.
Well, I just say call me when we ready to do bid whist. Like I said, I love Spades, but I
I
love
play
bid
bid
whist.
whist.
Well, just let me know.
I
Let
play
me
bid
know.
whist.
Let me know. Let me know.
It's in real quick, cccspadetourney.eventbrite.com. If you're not in the DC area, you can at least contribute because it is going to a worthy cause. And Toya Carmichael is one of my favorite people in Washington, D.C. Dr. Ira Davis is one of my favorite people in life. And Hanif Omar, has been a blessing just to see you again after hanging out, smoking cigars on a whim. Your ass is here in my city, which is also your city, but your city is now where you at. So what you doing in my city a couple of weeks ago. Shawn Overtime, we have these conversations more on Shawn Overtime than we do on the actual show because people are not confined. Come back and see me. Follow me on @JShawnDurham Inc. That's also a YouTube page at J. Shawn Durham. This is the wrap up. I'm going to go live again after we shut this down. Anybody wants to join and ask me questions? Cool. If not, good night and peace.
Good night, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the conversation. Peace.